Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I, Naruto, become stronger with a critical strike system. Chapter 61. I feel like I can't take it anymore. The bachelor apartment on the second floor where Naruto lived was very small, so they simply moved to the corridor to eat and drink. Ino scratched his head in distress. My dad has been looking at me strangely since yesterday, so I almost asked. But I don't know how to say it. I can't explain it either. This is what Naruto gave to them, not to the family, so he said that it cannot be passed down to medicine at all. What's wrong with this? She didn't want to pass it on either. After all, this is bestowed by Naruto, and she needs to seek Naruto's consent. Tien smiled. I'm fine, I'm alone and some guards in Konoha village, no one cares about me. Single quote. My lord father asked me yesterday. Hinata said weakly. I said that I don't know, I just feel that the ability to roll eyes is increasing, and I have the current ability naturally. They believed it. Yes, they believed it. What the hell? Ino and the others were dumbfounded, and the corners of their mouths twitched. That's okay. If I had known that I would use this reason to prevaricate, it seemed good. Because ninja bloodlines and abilities are very strange, many blood inheritance boundaries appeared indiscriminately, and then were exploited and utilized by others. That's why it's the size it is now. She can also say the same, without losing a piece of meat. Don't be under pressure. As your strength becomes stronger and stronger, they will naturally not ask too much. For them, having a strong ninja in their family is something to be happy about, isn't it? Naruto was right. Tien took a sip of the water of spiritual energy. Well, she was a bit reluctant to finish it in one gulp. Naruto glanced, and subconsciously imagined some kind of picture in his mind. The old man blushed and coughed dryly. The last Chunin exam will be in a few days, you have to be prepared. Be careful. Be careful. Hearing Naruto's words, the faces of the three girls all changed. Did Naruto know something? That I want to ask a question. Ino looked at Naruto weakly. I heard that you were a crow's mouth, so is something really going to happen in Konoha village? Naruto's face darkened. Whoever made the rumor, there is nothing at all. Seeing Naruto so swearingly spreading rumors, the three women looked at Naruto very strangely. They thought about it carefully, and it seemed that it was not really that heavy. You have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's suspicion, the critical strike is 10 times higher, and you have obtained the golden jade clothes. You have successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's suspicion, the critical strike is 10 times higher, and you have obtained the wish-fulfilling stone. You have successfully aroused Tien's doubts, the critical strike has been increased by 11 times, and you have obtained the Rui stone. The 3 wish-fulfilling stones together. This speed is really fast. And there is also a female magic weapon clothes, which are similar to my own, and they are the kind that add weak defense and can avoid dust. Wait until the 3 pieces are collected and give them a big surprise. You have successfully aroused the fidgety mood of the ghost man, the critical strike is tripled, and the power of the water body has been strengthened. You successfully aroused Bai's helpless emotions, quadrupled the critical strike, and got a piece of clothing from a big boss in women's clothing. You have successfully aroused the longing emotion of the vortex fragrant phosphorus, the critical strike is 5 times, and the perception ability has been strengthened. What the hell? Naruto integrated the other 2 light clusters into his body, and looked at the critical strike contributed by Shiro. 1 piece of clothing for a boss in women's clothing. Put it on, you can look, sound, and check that you are all women. It is a must-have clothing for people who travel at home and have bad intentions. I'm cracked. Naruto was dumbfounded, this crit blow can really explode anything. All these things. Naruto fantasized about putting on this beautiful dress, going to take a bath with some beautiful girls outside, and sticking together. Puff. Naruto covered his nose, the picture was so beautiful that he couldn't bear to look directly at it. No, so I won't do this kind of thing. This kind of clothes can be given white. This guy just loves women's wear, and he never tires of it. Thinking of Bai, Naruto felt a little helpless. This guy often went out in women's clothing and walked in Konoha village, attracting a lot of wolves. In the end I told them I was a man. Naruto could even see the heartbroken and broken expressions of those people. It's too awful. I really didn't expect Bai to have such a hobby. However, Naruto can tell that Bai simply likes to wear women's clothing, which is meaningless. It is estimated that he also felt that it would be more concealed if he dressed as a woman. Naruto doesn't quite understand Shiro's thoughts anyway. But he is indeed very gentle and doesn't like fighting. He is very satisfied with his current life now, but he is a little irritable if he doesn't cut it. In the past, running around every day felt very fulfilling, but now it seems that he is in retirement, which makes him feel uncomfortable. If you have time to give by, let him be more attractive, maybe it will be very interesting. I don't know why there is another game, and it seems like this last game is waiting for me in front of a lot of people. I feel like a clown. The Chunin exam at the ninja world level is like this, and every village will hold it. This time it's just our turn in Konoha village. Used to it. Hinata knew a little more, nodded and said, yes, this time, if you perform well this time, you can ask the higher authorities to get more funds, and then Konoha village can do a lot of things. Naruto raised an eyebrow. He understands this operation, it's just for show. Remember to hide your clumsiness. No, this time, I will definitely shine in the exam. Sasuke, who was training, touched the curse mark on his neck subconsciously, thinking of the ninjutsu taught by Kakashi. Sasuke gritted his teeth and continued to practice. I still have to get stronger. I will do whatever it takes to become stronger. Sasuke's face was firm, and he tortured himself to his heart's content. Such hard work, such talent, Sasuke, if you don't become stronger, there is no reason at all. I look forward to the day when you succeed. Kakashi looked sideways while hugging the heaven of intimacy, and chuckled lightly, feeling a little relieved. Sasuke is working so hard, Naruto is so strong, what about me? How should I go? Little Sakura looked at the hardworking Sasuke, and suddenly felt very unwilling when thinking of the monstrous Naruto. If this goes on like this, it seems that I can only hold a candle to it, being pulled further and further away by them, until I am no longer in the same world, not in the same dimension. How can I be worthy of Sasuke like this? Where are my strengths? Little Sakura was confused. Suddenly, her heart moved and she thought of Naruto. The three who became friends with Naruto became very strong, and this time the Chunin exam was even more brilliant, and I, who were all about the same age, barely won. Why is this so? Is it related to Naruto? Little Sakura pursed her lips, turned around resolutely and walked in the direction of Naruto's house. She's going to ask. You successfully aroused Haruno Sakura's depressed emotions, quadruple the critical strike, and gained chakra's control enhancement. Naruto, who was chatting and joking with Hinata and the others paused, and continued, come on, I'm free today, let's buckle. Double buttons. Zabujan and Bai, who were lying by the window watching, looked over. After fighting the landlord, is there a new way to play? It seems that it is a game played by 4 people, and it seems to be involved, but after thinking about it, I still don't want to go out to disturb, now it is the world of the 4 of them. I said, Naruto can really stop the conquest of 3 people. Do not cut again to express doubts. Bai is very calm. Maybe, after 3 days, rest for 4 days, or 1 month. Well, it's possible. Hey, Bai smiled. Mr. Zabujan has changed a lot since he came to Konoha village, and he can still joke. Xianglin leaned against the window, watching this scene enviously. I don't know if she can join in. It should be. Can't. They are all the charming daughters of the sky, and I am just an ugly duckling. You have successfully aroused Uzumaki's inferiority complex, the critical strike is 10 times higher, and you have gained Kagura's mind. Ninjutsu of sentience. Naruto turned his eyelids and glanced at the location of Xianglin. Her childhood experience made her feel inferior now. But trust me, it will all be fine with time. Because she has some good neighbors. Neji, come with me. Hyuga's house. Hyuga Hiyashi found Neji. As for Hinata, since he saw her ability yesterday, he knew that he had nothing to hand over except some basics. Simply let her go to Naruto. Naruto, what an incredible existence. Some people don't care, because they don't know, even the 3rd generation is still a bit foggy. But he is Hinata's father, so he can see clearly. He wouldn't believe it if he said it had nothing to do with Naruto. Yes, Neji followed Hyuga Hiyashi obediently. It's time to tell him about Hyuga Hizashi, it can't be kept hidden forever. Everyone has their own thing, everyone is training hard. Some people want to stand out, and some people just want to pass the Chunin exam. But whatever their purpose, a few days passed in a blink of an eye. The last round of the Chunin exam has officially arrived. There was a lot of voices and bustle, and many people sat in their seats and looked down expectantly. There stood the most elite members of this Chunin exam. Their battle must be exciting. Shiranui Genma held Chinbin in his mouth, watching this lively scene with a little emotion. This is the first time I have seen such a situation. Quote. Naruto and the others sat in the competition seats, quietly waiting for the start of the last stage of the Chunin exam. Brother, come on. Naruto, come on. Xiao Li and Might Guy's eyes sparkled. You must get a good grade. That's right, you are my approved disciple. Shameless. Kakashi stood on the sidelines and watched with cold eyes. When he heard Might Guy's words, he couldn't hold back anymore. You are so embarrassed to say these words. When did Naruto agree to be your disciple? He is my student now, understand? Might Guy didn't take it seriously. He looked away. People just have to be shameless. You see that Naruto has not clearly objected now, has he? This is the result. You successfully aroused Might Guy's shameful emotions. The critical strike was 22 times, and the physique was strengthened. Naruto blended it into his body casually, feeling the growing physique in his body but also looking around, and then he fixed his eyes on a person. This person is dressed as Anbu, with an animal mask on his face. But Naruto's perception is fully activated, and he sees through this guy, Yakushi Kabuto, right away. Sure enough, he was here too. After looking at the so-called fourth Kage next to Sarutobi Hiruzen, it was Orochimaru. I really look forward to the arrival of the new era. Naruto stretched his body and smiled. Konoha village will become a little more harmonious after this time. People keep coming, until there are no empty seats, and there are still many people coming, and the noise is so loud that it is a headache. Genma Shiranui looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen on the stage, and Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded slightly when he saw this. Shiranui Xuanjian saw that there was 1,000 books in his mouth, took out a big horn, and coughed dryly, ahem. Now, the final battle of the Chunin exam officially begins. Let's invite the first team of ninjas, Haruno Sakura vs Yamanaka Ino. Crash. The applause was loud, everyone looked at the arena expectantly, and the atmosphere gradually became tense. Beginning, Lord Orochimaru, the rest is up to you. Yakushi Kabuto pulled his coat and hat, pushed his glasses, and began to make mudras with his hands. Forbearance, Nirvana abode technique. Moment. White feathers fell from the entire arena, falling on people and ninjas. Large illusion. Nirvana abode technique. Not long after the beginning, most of the people fell into a deep sleep. Only a few people were not hit by this large illusion and were still very awake. What happened? Seeing this sudden change, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly changed color. This is a grand Chunin exam in Konoha village, and there must be no accidents, so there are a lot of ninjas lurking around Konoha village. But forgive me, and Yishi was still tricked. Who is it? Sarutobi Hiruzen is also a person with a keen mind, and his eyes instantly fixed on Orochimaru. That's right, it's me. Teacher, long time no see. Orochimaru chuckled, and threw away the Kage royal robe on his body, revealing his true colors. Orochimaru. Sarutobi Hiruzen's liver and gallbladder were split. He gasped, his scalp went numb for a moment. It's all a bureau, a terrifying trap for Konoha village. Kakashi, Sasuke, little Sakura, sure enough, just get used to it, get used to it. This time it's even more exaggerated. You have successfully aroused Hatake Kakashi's collapsed emotions, the critical strike is 50 times, and the power of Kamui has been strengthened. You successfully caused Haruno Sakura to collapse, the critical strike was 33 times, and you got a little aura of aura water. You successfully caused Uchiha Sasuke to collapse, the critical strike was 35 times, and you got the Phoenix Immortal Fire technique. Naruto, what kind of eyes do you have? He opened his mouth to ask, but Kakashi's face changed and he shouted, shut up. Forehead. Naruto was speechless, and the people on the side also looked over, looking at Naruto and Kakashi curiously. What's the matter? Conflict. The corner of Might Guy's mouth twitched. He thought of what Kakashi said last time when he came to him. At first he didn't believe it, but he was a little dubious. Now that Konoha village really had a problem, he suddenly realized that Kakashi didn't lie to him, everything was real. It's just scum. Go and help. Hateful. Kakashi glanced around, and found that Tsunade and other ninjas started to wreak havoc. there were cries and choruses everywhere, and the whole Konoha village was in a mess. Kakashi glanced at Naruto, paused, and finally rushed out without looking back. Might Guy and others followed closely behind, dispersed and started rescue. Standing next to Naruto every day, Ino Hinata and the others headed straight to where their family was after nodding to Naruto. Each has its own division of labor, and the Konoha village, a seemingly ancient machine, begins to operate at its limit. Sasuke looked at all this indifferently, same as Naruto. Aren't you going? I'll go, but I won't help the befuddled Konoha villagers. Sasuke left a word, and also found a direction to go. Everyone has their own business. But none of them asked me to do anything. It's not a bad feeling. Naruto glanced at Shikamaru who was playing dead. Forget it, this guy is afraid of trouble, but he will face trouble head on. Now it's just a moment of playing dead. When he comes back to his senses, he will still make a move. Because Nara's family needs him. You successfully aroused Nara Shikamaru's helpless emotions, tripled the critical strike, and obtained the shadow binding technique. Oh, what a hassle, Naruto, I'm going to take a step first, so be careful. Sure enough, as Naruto expected, Shikamaru couldn't lie down after a while. He just stood up and patted the dust off his body, smiled at Naruto, and went away thinking about the Nara family. Naruto stood there indifferently. With a sway, the shadow clone split and went straight to the villagers who usually helped him enthusiastically. Such as Otsutsuki Ichiraku, and Iruka. Naruto, Iruka, who was fighting, couldn't help being surprised when he saw Naruto throwing a ball to fly the enemy he was facing. Why are you here? I'll help you, Teacher Iruka. Thank you for taking care of me all these years. Iruka was silent, with a bitter mouth. I'm sorry Naruto, I also thought about giving up on you at the beginning. I know, Teacher Iruka. Naruto has a serious expression on his face. Iruka is a very attractive person, which Naruto believes. He always knew his identity, but as time went by, he gradually let go of his prejudice and treated Naruto as an ordinary student. How many people can do this? In the original, Iruka is the same. It can be said that his personality charm has not changed at all. Teacher Iruka, be careful, I have to help others. Go. Looking at Naruto's back, Iruka sighed in his heart. Naruto, who was hated and ridiculed by others, has grown up. Iruka couldn't help sneering when someone shouted for Naruto to help, but Naruto was unmoved. If I knew this earlier, why bother? People always have to pay for their own stupidity and actions. If Naruto does not have this strength, if Naruto dies before then, it will be another ending. Naruto, do what you want to do. Teacher, I can only watch you silently and encourage you silently in my heart. I believe you will do well. Because, you will always be that sunny, powerful ninja who brings warmth and thunder. Go, Naruto. You successfully aroused Iruka's inner softness. The critical strike was 100 times, and you got the neon clothes and feather clothes. Naruto, who was standing on the arena, felt his heart move, and a smile appeared on his face. The good for him is still good and won't change. No matter how good you are, it will be difficult to change. Naruto can't prove himself desperately to get everyone's approval like the original, he can't do it. Retribution is the rule of life for oneself. People respect me 1 foot, and I respect others 1 foot. Those who don't respect me should treat them in the same way as others. Indifference, disgust, I can do it too. Naruto looked indifferent, watching this scene quietly, unmoved. Orochimaru, what the hell are you doing? Watching the Konoha village collapse scene, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was full of heartache. This is the place he has painstakingly managed, this is also the village he loves, and this is the cornerstone of his dream. However now, wails, screams, and laughter mixed together like a doomsday elegy. Listening to the ears, I can feel the howling of the dark wind, penetrating the heart and spleen. I know exactly what I'm doing, Sarutobi-sensei. You are old, look at what has happened in Konoha village when you have been in charge of Konoha village these years. I know there are many things you can't do anything about, but there are some things you can obviously organize, but because of your weakness, your incompetence has made the entire Konoha village what it is now this way. What do you want to say in the end? Sarutobi Hiruzen livid. Are you questioning your teacher? What should I do? Orochimaru smiled brightly, looking at the purple beams of light rising around him, only him and Sarutobi Hiruzen here. New and old grievances, gratitude, resentment, anger, all these are not important anymore. Orochimaru opened his hands with a look of intoxication. I miss the Konoha village in the past, which was full of vitality and positive, but now there is only a rotten leaf left. Konoha village has fallen, and if it falls, it must be eradicated. Only by planting a new seed to make it take root can the will of fire be truly inherited. You're just crazy. No, you are old and can't keep up with the times. Gone. Sarutobi Hiruzen almost vomited blood when he heard the words, looked around coldly, then looked at Orochimaru, finally took a deep breath and said coldly, it seems that you can't be good if you don't get rid of it today. Of course, I really regret not killing you that day. I'm so lucky you didn't kill me that day. Come on, fight. Sarutobi Hiruzen threw away the Hokage royal robe on his body, revealing the ninja costume inside. His hunchbacked body stood up straight, and his momentum instantly increased. It seems that the original ninja has returned again. Teacher should be like this, let me see your strength over the years. It's fighting. Naruto narrowed his eyes and watched quietly. He doesn't understand Orochimaru's choice, but this is indeed a rare highlight moment for third generation, and Naruto doesn't intend to interrupt him. How to choose between a hero's death and a cowardly life? Probably cowardly alive, CJEF. In fact, it is not considered cowardly to live. After all, the third generation is old, and it is time to give up to the young. As for Jiraiya, she was attracted by a clone of Orochimaru long ago, and I don't know where it is now. Looking around, there is no one in Quanran who can help the ninjas of the third generation. Naruto flashed to the roof not far away, and just as he was thinking about something, a figure quietly appeared opposite Naruto. The two stood on the roof, with the breeze sweeping through, it felt like an alien version of the top of the Forbidden City. Gaara, Uzumaki Naruto, finally let me find this opportunity. Gaara showed a cold smile. I have been waiting for this day for a long time, I have wanted to kill you for a long time. You were really sick. Naruto wondered if he had done anything to Gaara, but the guy just kept staring at him. He, the most talented must be me. Gaara laughed nervously. Besides, you are a Konoha village ninja, I will not allow you to save third Hokage, so I will stop you. Come on, let's see if it's you or me. You successfully aroused Gaara's killing intent, the critical strike was 10 times higher, and you got the third eye. Then, come on. Integrating this ability into his body, Naruto raised his hand, and the next moment, a big ball Rasengan slowly emerged, with amazing pressure. Absolute defense, sand shield. Boom. The big ball Rasengan directly smashed on the gravel of the absolute defense, splashing countless gravel, but unexpectedly did not break the absolute defense. Sand hand. Flying water shuriken. A shuriken completely condensed by water directly cut off Gaara's outstretched sand hand, and then the trend continued unabated and went straight to Gaara. Gaara's eyelids twitched, and she raised her hand to seal, sand board. Sandfall funeral. Numerous yellow sands surrounded Naruto, and then quickly gathered around Naruto, squeezing away, trying to crush Naruto. Flying thunder god. Brush. A golden light flashed away, and Naruto appeared in front of Gaara. One Rasengan in his hand had already formed, and 10 were pressed on Gaara's chest. Sand armor. Gaara's eyelids twitched, it was too late for absolute defense, he only had time to condense a pair of armor on his chest. Boom. The terrifying Rasengan landed on Gaara's body. Gaara's face changed drastically, and his whole body was spun and flew out, hitting the ground not far away. Hiss. He, it's getting more and more interesting. Gaara stood up. Her face was covered with cracked armor, her smile was extremely ferocious, and the bloodthirsty light was flickering. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro, who are fighting the Konoha village ninjas, take a worried look at Gaara. Gaara's state is not right at the moment. Troublesome defense. Naruto took a step forward, the golden flash reappeared, the light flashed away, Naruto appeared next to Gaara again, and the flying water shuriken directly pressed on Gaara's body. Puff. Gaara didn't even have time to react, his chest was torn apart, and blood flowed horizontally. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro change color and are almost killed by Konoha village ninjas. The two had to turn around and fight hard, but their hearts were full of worries. This Naruto's speed can't even open Gaara's absolute defense, which is even faster than what Xiao Li showed in the last match. No, gold glitter. Temari was suddenly terrified, and she thought of some kind of legend. That is 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. But this time Konoha collapsed the plan, and the golden flash reappeared. In a trance, in the eyes of Temari and others, Naruto seems to converge with the shadow of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Teacher. Kakashi stamped his feet with a complicated expression. The rest of the people were also stunned for a while, as if they saw an incredible picture. The golden light flashed, and Naruto appeared in front of Gaara again. Gaara's eyelids were closed, and she quietly pressed her hand on the ground, and growled fiercely in her eyes, "Quicksand waterfall." Crash! The ground shook, and countless yellow sand gushed out, turning the surrounding area into a sea of sand, and Naruto almost fell into it. Naruto reacted quickly and left with a flying thunder god flashing away. Amazing reflexes. Almost caught on the road. You have successfully aroused Gaara's tyrannical emotions. The critical strike is 15 times, and you get the one-tail Shuhei chakra. You are strong. Gaara was silent. He was so beaten that he had no power to fight back, and sometimes it was too late to defend against him. What kind of speed is this? Is that time-space ninjutsu just now? It's really strong, but you still have to die today. Fake sleep technique. Under the eyes of Temari's discoloration, Gaara formed a seal and performed a forbidden ninjutsu in the eyes of Tsunade ninjas. Sleeping technique. Breathe. Gaara fell asleep, falling into a deep sleep. At the same time, a burst of violent laughter spread over the entire Konoha village. Ha 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 ha, I'm lousy again, destroy it, Tsunade. Well, what is this place? Suddenly Shuhei stared blankly at the surroundings. It was not the environment it liked at all, but existed in a place where birds were singing and flowers were fragrant, and deep forests were dense. What is this place? Shuhei was furious. No matter where it is, I will turn it into a quicksand hell. Shuhei roared, a little irritable. He felt an unpleasant breath. Ahem, teacher, you are still as strong as ever. Orochimaru coughed. I'm not even your opponent now, it's amazing. You can persist for that long. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a blank expression. Before, you would have been beaten to death by me, instead of still alive. I believe that, so just in case, I have prepared a nice gift for you, teacher. As he said that, Orochimaru pushed him on the roof under Sarutobi Hiruzen's shocked gaze. Crash! 3 coffins rose from the ground, exuding the vicissitudes of life on the coffins. That's right, Orochimaru beamed. This is the coffin of the first generation and second generation that you have in mind. That's impure world reincarnation. Not surprised, not surprised. Orochimaru. Sarutobi Hiruzen snarls. You are disrespectful to the ancestors. No, I'm letting them see the Konoha village they built. Why? Impure world reincarnation. Come out, god of the first generation, second Hokage. Orochimaru's seal was very cumbersome, but he completed it extremely quickly, and pressed his palm on the coffin. Click. The 2 coffins were broken, revealing 2 figures inside. At this moment, these 2 people stretched out their hands to support the edge of the coffin and walked out slowly, looking around. Their dark eyes were fixed on Sarutobi Hiruzen. Are you a monkey? Why are you so old? Oh, this is Konoha village, ahahaha, long time no see. Brother, you are still so crazy. Do you think the current Konoha village is terrible? Senju Tobirama looked around, furious. The entire Konoha village began to collapse in all directions, houses collapsed, and there was wailing everywhere. This is someone hacking. Monkey, you're still alive, so it's not long before we die. Why is there such a change? Teacher, first generation. The corner of Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth was bitter. It's all my fault that I'm not good at teaching, and I taught such a fool. He took advantage of the Chunin exam to implement the plan, and I was caught off guard. Where's Danzo? Sarutobi Hiruzen. Oh, it's really you. Okay, now is not the time for you to talk about the past. I am going to destroy Konoha village, not for you to catch up. Are you the student? The monkey said. Not bad. There is one thing to say, it is really extraordinary to be able to do this. Looking around, Konoha village is down to this point. This is impure world reincarnation. Young man, some ninjutsu is best not to use, it will hurt yourself. I know, so just in case I didn't summon your full strength, and I can wipe your consciousness. Orochimaru was unimpressed. The purpose of summoning these two people is to better implement Konoha's collapse plan. His will is firm, and it is impossible for Senju Tobirama to repent in a few words. Okay, you're still sinking. Wait, what's that? Senju Hashirama, who was silently observing the surroundings, pointed in one direction. His face twitched. Why did the tailed beast come to the village? Who is so big-hearted? The establishment of the village is a great masterpiece of him and Uchiha Madara. Naturally, it is also clear that the tailed beast is the nuclear weapon of every village and cannot be used easily. But what does he see now? One tail, which was supposed to exist in Sunagakur, turned up in Konoha village. This is so arrogant. I'm sorry, I asked him to come, because I think it's safer. Orochimaru laughed. The existence of one tail can make Konoha village collapse even more. What's more, a few giant snakes that he suddenly summoned at that time must be added. These giant snakes are not as huge as 10,000 snakes, but they are definitely not to be underestimated, enough to cause immeasurable damage to Konoha village. You can still laugh. Senju Hashirama pointed to one tail with a strange expression on his face, and an astonishing change had also taken place there at the moment. Ha ha ha, it's you, 9 Tails, and you're here, so this is Konoha village. Shukaku laughed. Surprised or unexpected, I came out but you couldn't, ha ha ha. One Tail Shuhei was extremely arrogant and laughed. 9 Tails admiring the beautiful scenery of Konoha village, one Buddha ascended to heaven and 2 Buddhas left their bodies. If it weren't for the seal, he would have wanted to go out and torture this one tail so arrogantly. You successfully aroused 9 Tails Kurama's resentment, 30 times the critical strike, and obtained Warcraft meat. Naruto ignored the critical blow and looked up at the huge-tailed beast. Shuhei looks ugly, very ferocious, not at all as enchanting and colorful as 9 Tails, looking at the diaphragm. Well, kid, what kind of eyes are you looking at? You are ugly. Plus, Shuzuru opened his mouth furiously, and a tailed beast bomb formed and spewed out. The terrifying power could be felt by all the ninjas around. Naruto, Naruto, Hinata and the others yelled in horror at this scene. This tailed beast bomb is horrible, what the hell is this monster? Sasuke gritted his teeth. Is this Jinchuriki? The cursed seal in the body is about to move, wanting to break through the shackles of the seal, bursting out with terrifying power. You have successfully aroused the fury of one tail Shuhei, and gained the ability to control the sand. Hey, this ability is not bad. Naruto was amazed. He didn't expect Shuhei to be so generous, to hit this critically. It's like a kind of natural ability, due to supernatural powers. This is like eating and drinking water that can control the power of sand, stronger than Gaara. Naruto can even combine with chakra to perform terrifying ninjutsu. And there is no need to print. Glanced around, almost all ninjas are looking at this side, and many have stopped fighting. The corner of Naruto's mouth hooked. This is really a very good opportunity. There are gains and losses and gains. It's time to start showing real skills. Sage mode, open, Wang. As Naruto's thoughts fell, Naruto's whole person seemed to undergo an inexplicable change. A touch of eyeshadow emerges. Naruto feels an all-around enhancement. Sage mode, amplification mode. This is a terrible increase. Naruto felt that he could kill his previous self in seconds, which is so exaggerated. Perfect Sage mode. Senju Hashirama was astonished. This child is so talented and evil, and he has learned the perfect Sage mode at a young age. What? Sage mode. Orochimaru and others who were watching from the side were all moved in their hearts. You successfully aroused Senju Hashirama's shocking emotions, 100 times the critical strike, and obtained wood style. You have successfully aroused Senju Tobirama's panic. The critical strike is 120 times, and you get the Flying Thunder God Guide. You have successfully aroused Sarutobi Hiruzen's panic, 10 times the critical strike, and obtained the monster meat. You have successfully aroused Orochimaru's surprise emotion, triple the critical strike, and obtained living corpse reincarnation. You successfully aroused 9 Tails Kurama's surprised emotion. The critical strike was 50 times, and the power of 9 Tails chakra mode was slightly enhanced. Well, this ability is not bad. Naruto was overjoyed. His idea was really good, and under the circumstances of all the attention, the more awesome he was, the more feedback he could get. This is just the beginning. Naruto integrated the critical strikes of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama into his body, closed his eyes slightly, and could feel the tempering from the depths of his soul. What happened to Naruto? Did he give up? The rest of the people basically couldn't see the changes in Naruto, they just felt that Naruto's temperament became stronger and more handsome. Seeing Naruto close his eyes, Tiantian's expressions tightened. Xianglin gritted her teeth, she was ready to sacrifice herself. At the lowest point of her life, Naruto gave her a sense of security, and Naruto gave her a warm home. Holding Xiaopingen in his arms, Xianglin prayed silently in his heart. "Bye, I don't think I can help at all. Don't chop off the ugly face. I suddenly feel that I am a waste." The enemies Naruto faced this time were too exaggerated, and he didn't even have room to intervene. "Bye Momo, so is he. You have successfully aroused the mood of the ghost man's powerlessness, the critical strike is tripled, and the power of the water body has been strengthened. You successfully aroused Bai Wuli's emotions, critical strike. You successfully evoked Hyuga Hinata's uneasy clarity, crit." A series of critical strikes did not affect Naruto. Naruto opened his eyes suddenly, it was too late to say it, but it was too soon, but seeing Naruto's hand stretched out, the ability of Flying Thunder God was displayed. In a flash, the tailed beast bomb disappeared strangely and appeared in the forest outside Konoha village. Rumble. There was a shocking explosion, but it couldn't stop the astonishment of all the ninjas. For a moment, countless pairs of eyes looked at Naruto with fiery eyes. This is the savior, this is their Konoha village ninja, a mighty ninja. Such a fearsome tailed beast bomb can also be easily transferred. You caused critical strikes get. This time, it was the one that just swiped the screen and couldn't stop it. Although there weren't many good things, they were all repeated crit attacks that were useless to Naruto. But some of the water of spiritual energy mixed in it, the spiritual energy garden is enough. Flying Thunder God Stage 2, Flying Thunder God guides thunder. Senju Tobirama stared blankly at Naruto, completely unable to understand why a 12 or 13-year-old kid could be so powerful. Even difficult to practice ninjutsu such as Flying Thunder God has been successfully practiced by him, and he directly goes to the second stage of Flying Thunder God. Plus perfect sage mode. Who else is his opponent in this ninja world? Senju Hashirama, Orochimaru, Sarutobi Hiruzen. You have successfully aroused Senju Tobirama's shocking emotions, the critical strike is 100 times, and the water style talent has been tripled. You successfully aroused the shocking emotions of Senju Hashirama, hit 56 times critically, and obtained the top Buddha. You successfully caused Orochimaru. You managed to arouse Sarutobi Hiruzen. You have successfully aroused One Tail's surprise emotion, the critical strike is 15 times higher, and you have gained Shuhei's friendship +1. Naruto. What cattle and horses? This fight also played a friendship. Good boy, you are the one who makes me feel disgusted. That's why, I understand, since beating you like this is almost like beating that fool, you will die to me. Shukaku laughed loudly, and with a movement of his figure, endless mad sand was set off. The yellow sand is all over the sky, filling the entire Konoha village, and the terrifying power of sand gathers and goes straight to Naruto for medical treatment. It's going to beat Naruto. This scene seems familiar. Sasuke and small Sakura whisper, thought. That 10,000 snakes. Coincidentally, Orochimaru also thought of it. The corners of the mouths of the three twitched, it couldn't be. Impossible. Let the shock come more violently. Naruto laughed, not retreating but advancing, one step forward, the perception of sage mode, the perception of the Uzumaki family, the ability of Kagura's mind, white eyes, and full firepower. Effortlessly dodging countless attacks, Naruto appeared directly beside Shuhei, raised his right hand high, and shouted, Sage Art, Massive Rasengan. Wang. The terrifying Rasengan is like a big moon over Konoha village, and the terrifying chakra keeps pouring in, making Rasengan bigger and bigger. Everyone stared blankly at the scene in front of them, and once again presented Naruto with countless critical strikes and countless items. If you want to erupt, then erupt more thoroughly. To be eye-catching, it is radiant and star-studded. If you want a critical strike, then make the shock more violent. The one-time ability is still on the shelf, why not let it become his real combat power, why not let the storm come more violently? Come on, One-Tail Shuzuru, today you are the stepping stone for me, Uzumaki Naruto. Kill. Boom. Big ball Rasengan is even bigger. Shuhei can feel the terrifying energy contained in it. Amplify. Increase. Increase. Naruto fully fired, turned his hand, and pressed forward suddenly. Kill. Massive Rasengan. Go. The people around were infected by Naruto's excited roar, and when they saw Naruto throwing the Rasengan in his hand, they also roared uncontrollably. Pull. The sound shook the sky, and the stars paled. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen, an old bone, was excited all over and couldn't help himself. Orochimaru felt his blood boil. Not to mention the funny Senju Hashirama, who was infected by Naruto's spirit and roared excitedly. Only Senju Tobirama was able to calm down, but also looked shocked. The boy in front of him, who was only 12 or 13 years old, was too terrifying and too powerful. Is this the true strength of Konoha village now? Ha ha ha. Konoha village is immortalized. Shuzuru looked at Naruto in horror, as if looking at a monster. Where did this kid come from? Is the current Nine Tails Jinchuriki already so powerful? Shuhei felt the terrifying power, and he might be maimed after this move. Subconsciously took a few steps back, guarding the crane and roaring, opening his mouth to roar, gathering the strength of the whole body. The terrifying power gathered, and turned into Tailed Beast Bomb. Tailed Beast Bomb keeps getting bigger and bigger. For a moment, a radiant and a dark energy ball with two completely different powers appeared in the sky above Konoha village, echoing each other. Buzz buzz. The astonishing power was shaking, and the ninjas who watched this scene who were still fighting quickly backed away, and even the roaring ferocious snake shrank back in fright, and fled away in a hurry. According to their intuition, if they don't leave, they will be finished. The arena is going to be destroyed. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face suddenly turned ugly. Such a big arena couldn't stand their toss. It's all money. Kill. Roar. The two spherical energy bodies crashed into each other. Click. The ground was cracked, everything around was blown away by the terrifying energy, and the terrifying power exploded instantly. Rumble. In the next moment, an astonishing ray of light shone, and everyone who reflected it squinted their eyes subconsciously. When they opened their eyes again to look, they were stunned to find that the real arena was almost razed to the ground. Nowhere is there a complete one. Is this the power a ninja should have? This is the voice of many ninjas. Is this a power that Sage Mode should have? Senju Hashirama began to suspect that the Sage Mode was fake when he was alive. Even if he had a very powerful increase, he shouldn't have such a terrible explosive power. But this absurd scene happened in front of him. It's unbelievable that it can't lose against the Tailed Beast Bomb. You successfully aroused Senju Hashirama's amazed emotion. The critical strike was 55 times, obtained the wood-style secret technique, and the tree world descended. You successfully caused another series of critical strikes swiped the screen. Naruto turned his hand, another sage art, and massive Rasengan threw it out. Gone. One tail Shuhei's expression changed wildly, and he was instantly hit by Naruto's sudden big ball Rasengan. Too fast. Naruto's ninjutsu was too fast, not to mention that Shuzuru didn't react. Even when the rest of the people didn't react, they saw Rasengan land on Shuzuru and explode instantly. Ah! Shuhei screamed, his huge body flew out, fell heavily on the ground, dying, and then saw Shuhei shrinking sharply, returning to the sealed space again, revealing the bloody Gaara. Gaara. Temari and Kankuro hurried forward to guard it behind them, looking around vigilantly. You have successfully aroused one tail's frightened emotion. The critical strike has been multiplied by 1,000 times, and the sand control ability has been enhanced. You successfully aroused Nine Tails Kurama's amazed emotion. The critical strike was 10 times, and the power of the soul was increased by a little. Naruto glanced at Gaara, looking at this newfound ability. Needless to say, he already knew the ability to control sand, but this soul power was also the first time it appeared. With a turn of the hand, it is integrated into the body. Naruto keenly felt that he seemed to have a new understanding of everything around him. It's like wiping off a layer of dust. It's amazing. I feel that my memory has improved a little, and there has been a certain amount of improvement in perception and ninjutsu control. Thinking, Naruto looked at the roof. There, several figures were still standing without moving. It seemed like a long time just now, but in fact, it was just in the midst of lightning and flint. The battle ended soon, and Orochimaru is still a little dazed and has not reacted. How can this Uzumaki Naruto be so strong? Meeting Naruto's gaze, Orochimaru took a few steps back, annoyed to find that Naruto was playing tricks on him in the forest of death. Swipe, Naruto stepped out and came to the roof. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama looked at Naruto with a smile of relief on their faces. No matter why Konoha's collapse plan was implemented, one thing is true, they don't want Konoha to really collapse. Fortunately, a ninja appeared to turn the tide. Really lucky. You don't know who this person is, do you? Orochimaru didn't care, and now he also knows that because of Uzumaki Naruto's existence, the Konoha collapse plan has been ruined. But if it's a waste of time, he will definitely not let Konoha village have a good time. Who is it? Yeah, it doesn't look like she is from a famous family. He is the son of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Orochimaru's language is not surprising, and he directly exposed Naruto's true identity, and said with a smile, and he is still Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Hiss. What? This is impossible. All the ninjas present were trembling in shock. Many people who knew the truth looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, and found that Sarutobi Hiruzen also had an ugly face at the moment. And some ninjas who didn't know why were even more horrified when they heard the words. Most of them don't know that Naruto is the son of the 4th generation, but they don't have any bad feelings towards Naruto because they have the most intuitive judgment on themselves. If Naruto is really a demon fox, it is also a Jinchuriki. They all guessed, but just never thought that Naruto would be the son of the 4th generation. So the life Naruto has lived these years. For a moment, their faces were terribly ugly. It was like being slapped in the face, but they could only bow their heads in shame, not wanting to resist at all. With that came resentment against 3rd generation. Because of your concealment and connivance these years, Naruto has received so much stare. After all, 4th generation is also your chosen successor, and also the hero who sacrificed to save Konoha village. He even cruelly sealed 9 tails on his newborn son. No matter what the reason is, it is enough to show that the 4th generation loves the village. He may want Naruto to be the hero of Konoha, so that Naruto can live happily in the village. And what did they do? They stared blankly at Naruto, feeling ashamed for a moment. Inaction is also a dereliction of duty. You successfully caused Hatake Kakashi to feel ashamed, the critical strike was 10 times, and Kamui's ability was strengthened. You have successfully aroused Senju Hashirama's curiosity, the critical hit is 10 times, and you get Sage Body +1. You have successfully aroused the curiosity of Senju Tobirama, the critical strike is 8 times, and you get the Fairy Eye +1T. You have successfully aroused shame emotions, 10 times the critical strike, and obtained the water of spiritual energy. You successfully caused. Orochimaru's words directly brushed Naruto with a lot of useful and useless items. Orochimaru, good man. Naruto gave him a grateful look. Orochimaru, oh, maybe if Naruto said that he is the son of the 4th generation, others would think he is crazy, but I am different. I am the enemy of Konoha village. It is the most credible explanation for my foreign enemy to say it deliberately. Good guy, why do I feel like I've been calculated? Orochimaru looked at Naruto, heartbroken. Is this the kid I know? Why is he so smart and scheming? You have successfully aroused Orochimaru's collapsed emotions, a critical strike of 10,000 times, and obtained the perfect sage mode of Raichi Cave. Naruto had a black question mark on his face. I just handed over a grateful look, what are you breaking down? Totally incomprehensible. Naruto subconsciously glanced at the thing Orochimaru crit hit. Raichi Cave's perfect sage mode is also 10 minutes like Mount Myoboku, and the abilities are actually similar, there is no difference. Incorporating it into the body, Naruto wondered if the sage modes of these two places could be fused together. How about it? Are you surprised or surprised? Orochimaru thought about it for a second. Since he said it, it would break you down even more, and then he said with a smile, the child you have hated for so many years is indeed a demon fox, but for whom? That's right, the 4th generation wanted him to be a hero, what a pity. Crit. Many ninjas clutched their chests, feeling a suffocation in their hearts. Why did it come from other people, Dai, Danzo, and those elders, why? They roared inwardly, and looked at the dull Sarutobi Hiruzen. They need an explanation. Sarutobi Hiruzen turned pale. It's over. After Naruto's identity is announced, he can't do anything, this Hokage is not comparable. What is Hokage for disobedience? The character design that has been in operation for most of my life collapsed directly. This is a collapse of heaven and earth, and it can no longer be shaped. Danzo even shrank at the root and dared not come out. Monkey, you did a good job. Tobirama, your student, tisk tisk. Senju Hashirama's exclamation pierced Senju Tobirama's heart, causing him to growl. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you did a good job. Teacher, listen to my explanation. Excuse me, I have a bad temper. If I wasn't dead, I would have arrested you and beat you up. Do you think I'm stupid? By the way, there is a question I've been wanting to ask for a long time. Where's Uchiha? Doesn't everyone in Uchiha participate in the Konoha collapse plan? As soon as these words came out, everyone was silent again. Senju Tobirama and Senju Hashirama suddenly had another bad feeling. Oops, I forgot that you have been dead for many years. Let me tell you, Uchiha was exterminated by one of Uchiha's people. What? The two trembled all over, dumbfounded. Uchiha was exterminated. It was a thunderbolt from the blue sky, and 5 thunderbolts hit them directly, making them dizzy. The huge Uchiha, the ancient family, and Senju Hashirama, the god of the first generation, who built the Konoha village hero family, was exterminated like this. You kill yourself. Senju Tobirama looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with indifference. He was very disappointed with the Hokage he chose. Sarutobi Hiruzen trembled all over, feeling desperate inside. This is Konoha's collapse plan, this is his leak meeting. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that there are a lot of tricks in it. There are so many incidents during his tenure as Hokage, and it is impossible to say that he has nothing to do with him. Indirect ones will not work. Not to mention that Senju Tobirama and Senju Hashirama also worked as Hokage. How could they not know about some of the tricks? No wonder someone dared to come to Konoha village to make trouble and come up with a Konoha collapse plan. If it weren't for Uzumaki Naruto to turn the tide, Konoha village doesn't know what will happen now. This is simply a joke. They couldn't have imagined that the huge Konoha village would make such a fuss. And the 4th Hokage, a man so great that his descendants. The meeting was so miserable. If it was spread, wouldn't it make people laugh out loud? In the final analysis, it is the inaction of high-level officials such as Sarutobi Hiruzen. The two looked at Orochimaru, and the anger in their hearts dissipated a lot. Such a Konoha village is indeed not very popular. No wonder others send us back. If you don't let us fight with all our strength in this scene, you can't beat Uzumaki with players, and you can't let us fight with all our strength. And if I'm not mistaken, your impure world reincarnation isn't perfect. Orochimaru chuckled. Thank you, senior, for your understanding, but I haven't finished talking yet. Sarutobi Hiruzen trembled all over. I rely on. You're still here, aren't you killing me? Orochimaru didn't look at Sarutobi Hiruzen, but looked at Naruto. At this moment, he smiled and said meaningfully, even if your identity is exposed, you can forgive those who hate you. You, the ones who hate you and let you die, cannot. Naruto answered decisively. Even if he knew that Orochimaru was plotting against him, his answer was firm and unquestionable. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama have complex expressions. The rest bowed their heads in shame. They didn't have any face to face Naruto. Hinata, Tiantian, Ino and Xianglin burst into tears. It turned out that there was such a sad past behind that sunny boy who was smiling all day long. How strong he needed to be able to live happily until now. You have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's soft emotions. The critical strike is 100 times, and you get Tensegan fragments +1. You successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's inner softness. The critical strike is 95 times, and the physique is +10. You have successfully aroused Uzumaki's inner softness. The critical strike is 110 times, and the number of chakra obtained is +10. You have successfully aroused Tiantian's soft emotions. The critical strike is 300 times, and you have obtained the restoration stone. Naruto, you're really straightforward. Isn't this the result you want? Mistake. Orochimaru smiled bitterly. It seems that you are more confident than I imagined. However, you also have the qualifications to be confident now. Uzumaki Naruto, I admit that I underestimated you, because your plan to collapse Konoha had to be aborted. You are strong, but you can't stop me from leaving. Orochimaru patted Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama's shoulders slightly. and the two of them froze immediately and gradually became expressionless. Their consciousness was suppressed, leaving only the instinct of the caster to obey. Go, stop Uzumaki Naruto, and kill him if necessary. I'll take a step first, ha ha ha. Thousand snakes. Boom. The white smoke unique to the summoning technique was lingering, and thousands of snakes rushed out roaring. Hey, Orochimaru, I'm not done with you. When 10,000 snake came out and let out a roar to vent his emotions, he saw Uzumaki Naruto looking at him indifferently, and was startled immediately, and roared to throw this cheating Orochimaru out. How long has it been since you fight with this monster again, saying, what do you want to do? Don't get me wrong, this time I asked you to come out to escape with me, so hurry up, if you don't leave, it will be too late. Roar, clear, 10,000 snakes roared, turned around and left, very fast, very slippery, and disappeared in front of the sluggish Naruto and the others in a blink of an eye. And at the same time, Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama looked at Uzumaki Naruto, under the order of Orochimaru, and rushed directly to fight with Naruto. Naruto fends off. Full burst of speed and power. The three human body arts duel, the rest of the ninjas who watched were dizzy and shocked. You succeeded. A large area of crit was directly ignored by Naruto, who was concentrating on dealing with Senju and Tobirama's joint attack. There are not many opportunities for such a master to recruit. Orochimaru, good man, Naruto coped with aplomb. These years and the attribute points obtained from Konoha's collapse plan just now are basically integrated by Naruto, and now he is fearless even if he uses pure physical skills to fight against the enemy. Snapped, snapped, snapped. Naruto's sensory ability is fully activated, avoiding the joint attack of the two, it is somewhat difficult to resist. Although he has mastered many attributes, these two people are obviously not ordinary people. As time went by, Naruto became increasingly difficult to resist. The first door, open the door, open. Unlock the limitations of the brain domain and exert 100% of the whole body's ability. Naruto's speed and strength increased again, faintly began to suppress Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama. Tree Realm, come. Responding instinctively, the two saw that taijutsu could not beat Naruto and directly performed combined ninjutsu. Senju Hashirama's move, the tree world descends, and countless trees rise from the roof, intertwined and intertwined, restricting Naruto's actions. Senju Tobirama stood beside Senju Hashirama, and quickly made a seal, water style, big burst of water and waves. Rumble, terrifying water gushes out, and in the blink of an eye, it turns into an astonishing river that hits the tree world, turning the space within the tree world into a vast ocean. The four purple flame formation has long since failed, and the terrifying water flow is about to pour out. That's the horror water style from second Hokage. Those trees will cooperate with the water flow to strike Uzumaki Naruto in the tree world indiscriminately. Ha ha ha, good time. 8 inner gates, second gate, Shungmin, open. Boom. Red light lingered around Naruto's body, and Naruto's speed and strength skyrocketed again, and a random kick could break a big tree. One palm strike can cut off the roots of trees. But the coming of the tree world is too terrifying, the big trees are constantly rising from the ground, and there is also the impact of the water flow. Even if Naruto steps on the water, he can't escape the countless branches under the water. It's almost impossible to guard against. The two cooperated seamlessly. It's boring, the original works are not so cooperative, nor are they so powerful, why facing me is like being beaten with chicken blood. See, this is the charm of physical arts. Below, Might Guy, who was resting exhausted from the battle, held Kakashi's hand with excitement on his face. Naruto only opened 2 doors, it's so powerful, if you open more, wouldn't you be going to heaven? You have successfully aroused Might Guy's admiration. The critical strike is 45 times, and the side effects of 8 inner gates have been weakened by 1 layer. Naruto kept moving, very happy in his heart. This is a good thing. 8 inner gates are very strong, but the side effects are too great. This weakened a layer of side effects that didn't seem to be much, but in fact it directly made his strength stronger again. Naruto, do you need help? Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was standing aside, finally came to his senses. Since the incident had already happened, it was not Naruto's fault, so let's take this opportunity to make amends. Unnecessary. Naruto narrowed his eyes. This is a rare good opportunity to brush critical strikes, how can it be easily given to you? Although Orochimaru escaped, the trouble he left behind was also a good thing for Naruto. Don't die and fight with face. Don't worry, old man, I'm not that stubborn yet. Then it's up to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. It is rare that Naruto is willing to call him an old man. It seems that Naruto should have known about this a long time ago, but he didn't yell or say anything. This child. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked complicated. You successfully aroused Sarutobi Hiruzen's complicated emotions. The critical strike was 10 times, and you got the monster meat. Naruto ignored Sarutobi Hiruzen's complicated heart. He has clear grievances and grievances. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others are indeed not authentic enough, he can grow up peacefully thanks to the peaceful life in Konoha village. This is something Sarutobi Hiruzen at least does. He has no complaints, no gratitude. From the beginning to the end, Naruto regarded Sarutobi Hiruzen as a familiar old man, nothing special, and naturally there was no so-called resentment or gratitude. What is Naruto doing? Why don't you need the help of the third generation? He won't be able to handle it if this goes on. I remember that Sage Mode also has a time limit, it should be almost the same. What should I do when the time comes? Not good, the 4-player mode is gone. Who has a crow's mouth? Get out of here. The ninjas below who didn't have much combat power were in a mess, and Hinata and the others were even more nervous, and they critically attacked a lot of things for Naruto. Cough cough cough. On the side, Gaara, who was guarded by Temari, suddenly coughed, then slowly opened his eyes, and said in a daze, "What's the situation now?" Naruto and God of first generation and second Hokage fighting. Temari looked complicated. It seems that the treat date cannot be avoided. Yeah, Gaara stared blankly at the scene in front of her, a little confused. Where did he get the courage to challenge such a monster? He was so impatient. He could feel Shukaku's battle, so he knew more intuitively how terrifying Naruto was. If you want him to say, Naruto can become the second god in the ninja world. I said, you successfully aroused Temari's shy and confused mood, the critical strike was 30 times, and the stamina was plus 11. You successfully aroused Gaara's confused mood, tripled the critical hit, and doubled the silver. Naruto took a moment to glance at them and then turned to look at Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama who came up again. I have to admit that even if these two people don't have the strength in their heyday, and they don't have the consciousness to cooperate perfectly, but he can't beat them even if they unite like this. Looks like it's time. Naruto stood on the top of a big tree. His face was calm, and the golden light was like a scorching sun in this gloomy weather, emitting a fiery light. Nine Tails Chakra Mode, on. A tomo began to appear within the range of Naruto's shoulders, surrounded by Nine Tails Chakra, with strange patterns emerging. Without the participation of Nine Tails, Naruto will not be drawn chakra when opening Nine Tails Chakra Mode, and he will not worry about dying. Boom. An even more oppressive atmosphere than Naruto in Sage Mode just now swept the scene. Everyone was shocked. What is this again? There were too many things that shocked them that day. The waves of shocks made them almost unable to react, and now they just feel dizzy. Kakashi, do you know what this is? I don't know, I just know that I feel amazing in it. Another form of the Tail Beast mode. Sarutobi Hiruzen gasped. This monster, after Sage Mode came a Tailed Beast mode, you want to go to heaven. You successfully aroused Nine Tails Kurama's super shocked emotion, critical hit 1,000 times, and gained Nine Tails Friendship +1. You have successfully aroused Sarutobi Hiruzen's shocking emotions, the critical strike is 30 times, and the resistance to punching ability +1. You successfully caused. Naruto lowered his eyebrows and smiled slightly. This is where it is, let's have another wave of critical strikes. Quote. Naruto stood on the top of the tree, put his hands together, and said softly, the top of the Buddha. Wang. But behind Naruto stands a huge golden gas flame Buddha statue, with thousands of giant arms waving down. Rumble. This is simply an all-round attack. Each fist is very big. Thousands of fists bombarded down. It is even more terrifying under the increase of Naruto Nine Tails Chakra Mode. Fists bombarded the roof shattered, sawdust flew across, and water splashed. Everything can't stop Naruto's attack at all. The powerful attack directly covers and strikes in a full range. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama could no longer hold back the terrible attack, and turned into flying ash and disappeared. Amitabha, good and good. After all this was done, Naruto took back the ninjutsu of Buddha transformation on the top of his skin, and the arrogance all over his body began to dissipate, and he returned to his original appearance. However, even so, everyone was still staring blankly at this scene. Numb. Really numb. What happened today can be described as twists and turns, wave after wave impacting their nerves, until now the nerves are still tense and unable to let go. I'm afraid Naruto will come again. You successfully caused. Watching a series of critical strikes, Naruto was overjoyed. This is really a few waves of fat and blood earning a day. As for being a so-called hero, Naruto doesn't care, he said otherwise. At least many of those who died today hated him, which made him happy. As for the loss of Konoha, it was a matter of third generation, and had nothing to do with me as a genin. Go home and rest. Naruto walked away calmly, and when passing by Temari, he threw her a look that you can understand. You have successfully aroused Temari's embarrassment and indignation, the critical hit is tripled, and the original basic silver is doubled. Hinata, Tiantian and Ino, I'll go back to rest first, see you tomorrow. Seeing that the three girls were safe and uninjured, Naruto heaved a sigh of relief. Shadow Clone had all returned long ago, knowing her. They weren't injured, but there was still some concern. Now he was relieved. Naruto hummed a song with his little hands behind his back, and disappeared from the sight of all the ninjas in awe. Hey, we should go back too. Zaibujin dragged by blankly, and followed Naruto like sleepwalking. His expression was in a trance, and he hadn't reacted until now. Third generation, let's host it. Kakashi rubbed his temples with a wry smile. Now is not the time to relax, there are still many things you need to deal with. Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched when he heard this. Yes, there are still many things to deal with, especially choosing a fifth generation project, which is the most important thing. What are these things? With that in mind, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't start commanding the Konoha village ninja to start dealing with the aftermath. Danzo also came out from the root, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, the two smiled wryly one after another, and then began to sort out everything in Konoha village. Because Naruto made a lot of noise this time, and with the addition of those giant snakes and other battles, the loss of Konoha village was very large. Many houses collapsed and were completely uninhabitable. Just take your time, don't rush. Work together to restore Konoha village as soon as possible. By the way, there is one more thing. They looked at the three of Temari Gaara with unfriendly eyes, but they didn't embarrass them either. First, they still need compensation from Tsunade. Second, it seems that Tsunade's people are also victims of this incident, and they were all played around by Orochimaru. That's bad enough. Fourth, Kage is dead, plus the loss in Konoha village this time, compensation will be made after returning. Tisk. Tsunade will not have an easy time ahead. Things were going on in an orderly manner, but Naruto, who returned home, had nothing to do, simply lying on the rocking chair in the corridor, occasionally looking at the bustling Konoha village. The hustle and bustle, the smoke and dust mixed together, looked a bit depressed. In charge of trauma recovery, it is still the same Konoha village, but with fewer people and more new buildings. Hey, the Konoha collapse plan is over. Putting the book in his hand on his face, Naruto squinted, taking a rare rest. Just take this opportunity to sort out the crazy crit gains of this day. Naruto was lying on the rocking chair, swaying back and forth. His mind had sunk into the space, which had turned into a sea of light balls. Countless light clusters fluctuate here. Naruto moved in his heart and took out a stone. This stone is very ordinary, but the message it displays is not simple. It is a repair stone that can repair magic weapons. Ordinary weapons can be repaired successfully with just a little powder. Incredible. Naruto was stunned. This thing is very useful, you can save it to repair some weapons and ninja tools. Naruto looked at them one by one. In fact, there are so many critical strikes, but most of them are repeated, and there are some attributes that Naruto directly integrates into the body. Defense, anti-beating ability, and a skin enhancement. These attributes are his own foundation, and Naruto has decisively integrated it, and he can feel that his foundation is improving rapidly. It didn't take long for Naruto to blend in, and the light spots in the space were much less. Now Naruto feels much stronger than before. This is a wave of fat, which makes his strength cross a stage again. Ox. Naruto cheerfully flipped through the other points of light. The rest are some ninjutsu and monster meat, water of spiritual energy and so on. This category accounted for a lot, and Naruto was a little speechless looking at these. These 2 or 3 people couldn't finish eating in a while, so they could only eat slowly. But I have nothing to do with it. Water itself does not expire, and there is no problem with Warcraft meat being placed in space and time is still. It will be very stressful to raise a Hinata in the future, let alone several more. I'm going to hoard food like a hamster and prepare to live a happy life. Well, that's a small goal of mine. Naruto rocked the rocking chair with a smile on his face, as if imagining a better life in the future. Naruto seems to be in a good mood. It seems, probably. Zabujan and Bai looked at each other, with a flash of distress. They knew some of Naruto's situation in Konoha village, but they didn't have a deep understanding of it. It was only when it was exposed today that they knew the pressure of Naruto's life. How did he manage to be so indifferent under such circumstances? Unless this situation has been known for a long time, there is no power to change it before, but is this possible? You have successfully aroused the distressed emotions of the ghost man, the critical strike is doubled, and the water style and great waterfall technique have been obtained. You successfully aroused Bai's distressed emotions, doubled the critical strike, and obtained a handful of kunai. It's okay to be distressed, why even the bitterness came out. Naruto was speechless, but very happy. Because this shows that the critical strike ability is still improving, and the probability of real objects is getting higher and higher now, and I don't know what will happen in the future. Take a good rest and wait for a few days to talk. Not long after, Naruto became drowsy, his breathing slowed down, and he fell into a dream in a blink of an eye. Hold on, he's been playing for so long, and what Sage mode and Tailed Beast mode, it's tiring to watch, it's hard to be a hero, I think he doesn't want to be a hero. Bai's face was strange, and under Zabujan's curious eyes, he said slowly, if he wants to be a hero, he can make a move when Orochimaru is in action, but he doesn't have as many parties as he waited until he died. You're right, as far as Gaara's strength is concerned, if Naruto explodes in a hurry, he won't have a chance to use that dozing technique. Good. So, the 2 looked at each other and smiled slightly. This kind of Naruto has flesh and blood, and the grievances are clear, which is very good. Come on, let's play cards, the way 2 people play, by the way, watch out so that no one comes over. Well, except for those few. Ha ha ha, you were right. Those few were also big bosses, he didn't dare to stop them, their relationship with Naruto was extraordinary. Tick-tock, tick-tock, hey, here we are again. Naruto's spirit flicked and he became interested. I haven't come to this sealed space for a long time, and I suddenly miss it very much. But this time there were so many critical strikes, the one didn't have the ability to release the seal, which is outrageous. Coming to the open area with ease, Naruto saw Nine Tails looking straight at him at a glance. Hey, Nine Tails, hello, long time no see. Little devil, how do you have my chakra? Nine Tails couldn't figure it out, did he have so many chakras that have been circulated? It is said that the kid in front of him only went out once last time, and he was followed all the way. No matter how you think about it, it is impossible to have it. But the Nine Tails chakra mode just now is very real. His induction is definitely not wrong. I picked it up. I bought a watch last year. Nine Tails almost couldn't hold back and yelled, you can pick up anything, you're kidding me. Don't talk about this, Nine Tails, it's so kind to see you, come on, let's continue our last topic. Naruto waved. I invite you to eat meat and drink water, tell me your previous story. I have no story. Nine Tails squinted. Since he didn't come out, he didn't plan to pay attention to this brat. This little ghost in front of him is a big kid, maybe it will be sold by accident, and he has to count the money for him. Hey, Nine Tails, don't look at me like that, I'm very pure, and I haven't done anything outrageous until now. Well, let me ask you, I remember that boy Minato told you not to learn Jiraiya, but what happened to you without a teacher? As this, Naruto rubbed his chin and smiled. It's natural, there's no way. Gone, don't mind, come, eat meat. Naruto took out a piece of roasted Warcraft meat and handed it over, it's delicious. Nine Tails sniffed his nose, and a strange fragrance penetrated into his nose, making his nose twitch involuntarily, surprise flashing in his eyes. When Naruto didn't block its perception before, it could see outside and naturally knew that Naruto had many strange things. Just like this Warcraft meat, and that water. It knows that these must be very special, otherwise you will be intoxicated after drinking water, and it is not in the desert. Now that the nose smells it, it is more sure. But his arrogant nature made him show disdain, and snorted coldly, "We-tailed beasts don't eat meat." "Really? I saw that your nose moved several times, it must be because you want to eat. Don't be arrogant, come and eat. I rely on." Ninetales was furious, and stood up directly, with an amazing sense of oppression, and an angry roar echoed in this narrow space. "You are telling me to give it a try." Pat. Naruto threw it casually, and the beast meat accurately hit it, and it fell into the roaring mouth of Ninetales. Ninetales subconsciously swallowed it, and strange energy flowed throughout his body. Ninetales almost cried out in comfort, her heart shook. This kind of meat actually has an effect on him, a tailed beast. You successfully arouse the anger of Ninetales Kurama, the critical strike is 8 times, and you get Ninetales chakra. You successfully aroused Ninetales Kurama's shocked emotions, critical hit 50 times, gained chakra's control, and gained Ninetales friendship. Is there any more? Ninetales was dumbfounded, and looked at Naruto with a smile. Naruto was astonished. You have changed too much before and after, what about your arrogant nature? Ninetales curled his lips, disdainful in his heart. Anyway, I have been locked here all the time. If there is something good to eat, why not eat it? The sand sculpture will refuse. And for some reason, he looked at Naruto with a softer gaze, and it seemed that the kid in front of him was not very annoying. What a ghost. Ninetales lowered their eyebrows. I actually feel this way. Is there really a strange charm about Naruto? Ninetales firmly refused to admit the fact that she liked Naruto because of a piece of monster meat. Eating monster meat, drinking some water, life is boundless joy. Naruto handed over the water of spiritual energy again, this time Ninetales did not refuse. Tun tun tun. After taking a few gulps, the strange feeling came again, and Ninetales was intoxicated. This is the feeling, comfortable. Looking at the intoxicated expression of Ninetales, Naruto's face was weird. I am feeding a small pet, but this pet is 100 million points smaller. I ate and drank, and I asked you a question. You ask. Short-handed and soft-spoken, Ninetales is easy to talk this time, and readily agrees, but whether to answer depends on the mood. Well, I've always heard that your tailed beast's abilities are unevenly distributed. Is it the same thing? It's like a version I heard. When you allocate chakra, you divide it into 2 parts. 90% of the chakra is allocated to you, and the remaining level of chakra is determined by the strength of the remaining 8-tailed beasts. That fool made up a rumor. Ninetales couldn't hold back when he heard the words, and roared loudly, "This is slander, there is absolutely no such thing. Sage of 6 Paths is such a good person, how could he do such a vile thing? It's just purely my ability, After finishing speaking, he snorted coldly and looked at Naruto with unfriendly eyes. What I heard, I think it is clearly your own imagination. You have successfully aroused Ninetales' displeasure, the critical hit is 5 times higher, and the illusion resistance has been strengthened. Don't be angry, don't growl, I just heard. Well, and what kind of person is that Sage of 6 Paths? Ninetales remained silent. The existence of Sage of 6 Paths does not want to tell others too much, it is meaningless. People now regard these as legends and don't think it's true, so why bother to say it, and it has no interest in it. Naruto was helpless. This Ninetales is here again. But friendship needs to be accumulated little by little, and Naruto is not in a hurry. Leaving enough monster meat and water of aura, Naruto turned around smartly and waved as usual. Ninetales, see you next time. Tisk. Watching Naruto leave, Ninetales' eyes softened slightly. It seems that this Jinchuriki is a bit different from the previous ones. He looked at himself as if he was looking at a friend or a partner. What a weirdo. Well, monster meat, water of spiritual energy. Life is finally not so boring, I want to eat slowly. Ninetales stretched out chakra, pulled the monster meat and the water of aura that Naruto left there, a sharp light flashed at the fingertips, and cut off a small piece of monster meat. After thinking about it, Ninetales shrunk down and turned into a mini Ninetales, and ate it happily. This is life. I slept soundly. Outside, Zabujan stood aside, watching Tiantian and Hinata playing cards, while he held the beheading sword and watched Naruto quietly. Aren't you going to clean up the mess in Konoha village? It seems that there is a shortage of people in Konoha village now. The village will never lack too many people, but you think too much. Tian pursed his lips and smiled, and we are here to see the hero, It is our hero, not some people in the village. Yes, he is too bitter. Ino made a right and sighed, I didn't know him well before, it's my fault. Hinata was silent, and then said, Chen Nuo's but he seems to be going on a date with that female ninja from Sunagakur. Sky, Ino. Several people's faces froze, and their expressions gradually became unkind. Here's another one, you're so flirtatious. Several people gritted their teeth, feeling angry in their hearts. You have successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's angry emotions, the critical strike is 13 times, and the power of the heart-turning technique has been strengthened. You have successfully aroused Tiantian's angry emotions, the critical strike is 12 times stronger, and the detonation special power has been strengthened. You have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's angry emotions, the critical strike is 15 times, and the ability to roll eyes has been strengthened. You have successfully aroused by Heguiran's gloating mood, 30 times the critical strike, obtained tandem paper bombs, and obtained a book on how to be a boss in women's clothing. Naruto, who was sleeping, didn't realize it, and was still sound asleep. Several people, forget it, there is a fragrant phosphorus on the side, just get used to it. Hinata sighed slightly and continued playing cards. At the same time, in Hokage's office, Jiraiya looked at the people in front of him in bewilderment. By the way, what did I miss? Listening to their words, Jiraiya was a little embarrassed. He was plotted to death by Orochimaru from the very beginning, and was successfully lured out of Konoha village, but he really didn't know much about what happened afterwards. I only knew that there was a very powerful explosion sound. When he reacted and rushed back, the matter seemed to be over. Is that Uzumaki Naruto so good? It sounded like she was listening to a fairy tale. Jiraiya scratched her head, a little troubled. He really wants to see Uzumaki Naruto now, but the old boy Sarutobi Hiruzen is holding him back. Chapter 71. Jiraiya, you have to take care of this. I can no longer be a Hokage, and I'm old, and it's time to rest. Opportunities are reserved for you young people. Danzo stood aside with a gloomy face. This sentence should have been said when the fourth generation died, and then pass the position to me. Jiraiya scratched his head. Old man, let me tell you, I won't be this Hokage, I have my mission, I have my own things to do. What can you do? Sarutobi Hiruzen glared at Jiraiya angrily. Don't you just stay in a hotel every day, write a book, and wander around? Old man, you are slandering. You don't want to be one, so why don't you recommend me one? Do you see how many ninjas in Konoha village are suitable for Hokage? Kakashi, qualifications are barely enough, not enough. Uzumaki Naruto, don't you look at how old he is, when he reaches his strength, he also tries his best to turn his madness. Those who hate him are basically dead, and the rest probably won't be able to stay in Konoha village, but the age is there. Quote. Tell me who else is there. Danzo coughed lightly and stood there calmly with a cane, attracting the attention of Jiraiya, Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. But then they collectively retracted their gazes and continued the discussion. Danzo, you are scumbags. Asshole, Udatain Kaharu said earnestly. Jiraiya, you are the only one in the village who can have this qualification. You have to carry the beam. As he spoke, he gave Sarutobi Hiruzen a look. If you hadn't let Orochimaru go, would something like this happen today? In the final analysis, it is still your fault, and you have to bear this responsibility. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled wryly, smoking a pipe, blowing out smoke rings, and remained silent. How about Tsunade? Jiraiya definitely doesn't want to be a Hokage, he hasn't spent enough time, and the man of destiny has not been found yet. There are so many things, how can he be bound and be a Hokage? Is that what a person deserves? Tsunade is naturally fine. Mitokado Homura and Udatain Kaharu nodded when they heard the words. As the legendary Sannin, Tsunade's contribution is also very large. But do you know where Tsunade is? Is she willing to come back? This is a problem. Konoha village can't do without Hokage, and Sarutobi Hiruzen is no longer suitable for Hokage, you know that. So there must be 5th Hokage to catch within half a year. Jiraiya smiled confidently. Don't worry, leave it on me, I promise to get Tsunade back. Tisk. It's not easy to find Tsunade. If you go around a place with a casino, you can always find it. Because Tsunade's fat sheep name is widely spread, just ask any gambler to know. So as long as you try hard to find it, it is not difficult to find the hand. Danzo. Jiraiya, you guys, why are you ignoring my existence? Danzo roared in his heart, but the law does not blame the public, so he could only roar silently in his heart. Then I will leave this matter to you. By the way, bring Naruto with him. Well, why? Jiraiya was suspicious. What do you want to do again? What can I do? Sarutobi Hiruzen glared at Jiraiya angrily. Many people in the village are ashamed to death now, and some people simply can't stay any longer and plan to move. The remaining diehards probably won't be able to stay for long, but they'd better not meet each other, and you can take Naruto out to relax by the way. I think he's not feeling well right now. You would be so kind. Jiraiya wondered. By the way, when will you return the inheritance to Naruto? Wait until the new Hokage at Konoha village is in place and you let her go. Tisk tisk, you are scheming. Jiraiya was speechless, but nodded. Now Konoha village is waiting for a lot of things, and there are many things left by Naruto's parents. It will take time. If you want to come to Tsunade, you won't lose Naruto. He can still be sure about Tsunade's temperament, and this matter is settled. However, the single-family house can be given to him, but it has not been lived in for so many years and needs to be tidied up, and some things stored in the warehouse of my Hokage building can also be given to him. The rest needs to be cost-effective, and there should be no rush. Now that something has happened, we should try our best to make up for it, and it is also good to restore some of our reputation. Okay, you guys do this thing, I'll take Naruto on the road to find Tsunade in a few days. Then let's go like this, I'll take a step first. By the way, what are you going to do with Orochimaru? What can I do? Increase the reward amount. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face turned ruthless. It was this student who made him feel ashamed. This time he must offer a high reward. If he can't be killed, he will be disgusted to death. Asshole. Several people left one after another. Danzo walked out of Hokage's office on crutches silently, looked back at the door. Danzo smiled disdainfully. Since you don't give it to me, then I will get it myself when I have a chance. Snort. Master Orochimaru, what do you think? I'm fine. On the way, Orochimaru looked at the surrounding scenery and felt like vomiting blood when he recalled everything that happened in the collapse plan of Konoha village. That Uzumaki Naruto is really amazing, though, your intuition has always been so accurate. I also didn't expect Uzumaki Naruto to be that strong. Yakushi Kabuto smiled wryly. I just think he will become an obstacle in our implementation of Konoha's collapse plan, who knows that he will directly turn the tide. Yes. But Master Orochimaru, why did you cancel the impure world reincarnation? If I remember correctly, this ninjutsu can be manipulated even at a long distance. God of first generation and Dashiro Hokage are so powerful that 10 moves can cause a lot of damage to Konoha village. Having said that, this ninjutsu is dangerous. The first generation is more dangerous. Orochimaru glanced at Yakushi Kabuto, vomited the snake letter and continued. My ability to suppress them from a long distance will dissipate. At that time, the god of first generation is likely to reverse the crack of impure world reincarnation. At that time, he will be a powerful undead, who in the ninja world can stand up to it. Anyway, I can't stand it. Not to mention second Hokage, flying thunder god, but water style is also extremely exaggerated. If he also has the ability to crack the entire ninja world, how can he play? Understood. Yakushi Kabuto Mingwu. So you can release it when you escape. Oh, what a pity. It's not a pity. At least I know the terrible existence of Uzumaki Naruto, and the old man should be laid off, and I have achieved more than half of my goal, so it can be regarded as a success. Let's go. Echo Ninja Village, I have to wait a little bit recently. Orochimaru knew very well that Sarutobi Hiruzen must be very angry and would come to kill him at the first chance. He still wants to live well, he doesn't want to be beaten, and he doesn't want to be beaten. However, someone from a certain organization is going to have a headache. Are you organized? Yakushi Kabuto pushed his glasses and smiled slightly. Indeed, Mr. Orochimaru, you told me that they are aiming at tailed beasts. Quote. But Naruto, the Jinchuriki, is not easy to mess with. Maybe it will break a tooth, that would be interesting. This is the latest news about Konoha Village's collapse plan. Uzumaki Naruto, the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, turned the tide. Even the first generation and second generation that were brought out by Impure World reincarnation were killed by his thousands of big fists, but according to my investigation in that moment Orochimaru voluntarily revoked the Impure World reincarnation. Never put the information he collected in front of Nagato. Obito stood quietly aside, his eyes swept away, his pupils shrank suddenly, and his voice trembled, "Are you sure this is true?" Nagato and Konan are also hopeless. It's true, I've looked into it, Naruto's abilities are strong, Sage Mode, Nine Tails Chakra Mode, and he's just as powerful as first generation and Uchiha Madara, it doesn't make sense. And Uzumaki Naruto's physical fitness is also very strong. So if we collect tailed beasts in the future, this is a formidable competitor. Uchiha Itachi stood aside, eyes moving slightly. He remembered the meeting with Naruto a few years ago. At that time, he knew that Naruto was not easy, but he never thought that Naruto would be so capable. Pity. Itachi sighed inwardly. With such strength, Sasuke's sword could not be grasped, so he had no choice but to extinguish this idea. It seemed that he had to redo the plan. Then he looked back at Obito. I don't have a clue about this yet. He calls himself Uchiha Madara, but everyone knows that this is a joke, and he can't believe a word of it. The man's identity is a mystery. At that time, I will do it myself. Nagato put down the information in his hand and said coldly, "We are not ready yet, it will take at least 2 years, and you have to work hard in these 2 years. By the way, where's Kakuzu? Going to do the reward task, he is most passionate about this. Let him go, and everything to keep Konoha Village, especially Uzumaki Naruto close. I want all his information." Well, does 3 girlfriends count? Hearing Ju's words, Nagato's face darkened immediately, and he gave Ju a hard look. Konan, I admire you. This is absolutely not afraid of being killed by Nagato. Don't you know that this is also Nagato's inner trauma? Look at him now, he is powerless, even though that kind of thought is very light, but hearing Naruto's ability is enough to make a man furious. Itachi bowed his head and thought of Quan. Obito was silent, thinking of Rin Nohara. The news of Konoha Village could not be concealed at all, and the news soon swept away in all directions like the autumn wind sweeping the fallen leaves, and everyone was shocked. I didn't expect such a fierce battle to break out in Konoha Village. Especially Uzumaki Naruto played a vital role in it, and became famous all over the world. You have successfully aroused Nagato's jealousy, the critical strike is 100 times, and you get Rinnegan fragments +1. You have successfully aroused Konan's fearful and curious emotions, the critical strike has been multiplied, and he has obtained the origami technique. You have successfully aroused Uchiha Obito's fearful emotion, the critical strike is 300 times, and you get a Kamui space. You have successfully aroused Uchiha Itachi's curiosity, critical strike, get. You successfully caused. Brush, brush, brush. Brush vigorously. This is the real moment of fame, making Naruto get countless critical hits at once, but there are not many good things among them. But Naruto is also happy. Lying on the rocking chair and giggling all day, this is the follow-up gain. A large wave of ninjutsu, a large wave of item rewards. Even if most of them are contributions from people you don't know, they add up to a lot of value. I feel like opening a grocery store. There are so many things that can only be used up in the year of the monkey. This is something contributed by people from the entire ninja world. Even the silver tail has been multiplied countless times from the basics, so you don't have to worry about running out of money in this life. It's that exaggerated. It's just that the quality is not very good. Could it be that the distance is too far? But Nagato's crit stuff is not bad. There are still some things about this crit ability that I don't know about. It doesn't matter, this kind of life is already very good, he is very satisfied. Naruto, you are so comfortable that you are basking in the sun here. Jiraiya appeared in front of Naruto, looking at Naruto who was leisurely reading a book with some envy in his eyes. Today's children's life is much better than that of his time. At that time, he had to go to the battlefield at a very young age, which is really incomparable. But Naruto's generation is not having a good time. Orochimaru's Konoha collapse plan almost caused Konoha village to collapse. If it weren't for Naruto's great loss, the current loss must be more than that. This is really hard to say. You successfully aroused Jiraiya's amazed emotion, the critical strike was 35 times, and you got the toad oil. Naruto, what are you doing here? Go and see the bathhouse yourself. I won't go. I won't go under the waterfall outside, I just want to lie down now. He still has a lot of things that haven't been classified, but most of them are far away. It seems that there are a lot of critical hits, but they are actually useless, and the attributes are even less pitiful. But for Naruto, no matter how few attributes are, it is a good thing that can improve his foundation. There is also the Kamui space, which seems to be a space ring. That's great. Come out of the village with me in a few days. What are you going to do? Find Tsunade, you know. Jiraiya was surprised. You really impress me, such a quick mind is rare in the world. Don't flatter me. So are you going or not? Go, of course. Xiao Li's injury has not been settled yet. Tsunade is a famous medical ninja and one of the legendary Sannin, with excellent medical skills. Jiraiya raised her eyebrows, a little suspicious. I always feel that Naruto's purpose is not pure, and he must have this idea for Xiao Li, but if he puts all his heart into it, hee. You see who will believe you. Anyway, I don't believe it. Although he only met Naruto a few times, Jiraiya is sure that Naruto must have some purpose in following him. But this purpose is beyond what he can guess. There is one more thing. The higher authorities are planning to return part of your Minato and Kushina's inheritance to you. The detached building and some relics will be given to you. As for some money, it will be compensated after calculation. You have no problem with this. Naruto immediately took the heaven of intimacy open on his face, and looked at Jiraiya in surprise. It's so good, conscience finds it. Jiraiya smiled wryly, there was no way to answer this. Conscience found, you think too much, this thing is like this, if you are good, then these things will always be there, if you are not capable, then it will be difficult for you to get them back in your life. This time, if Orochimaru hadn't exposed Naruto's matter, and Naruto's own strength is strong, you can see if they will return it to you. After all, this is not a small amount. Of course, according to third generation's explanation, all these will be returned to Naruto when Naruto grows up. He also told Kakashi and the others before. But who knows about this kind of thing? Naruto was surprised. That's a good relationship, I don't know where the house is. I'll take you. Go, bandit. Naruto stood up at once, eager to see the house he was supposed to live in. If you have money, and the house counts separately. Jiraiya laughed. After all, she was still a child, which made you excited, but it was also understandable. Looking at Naruto, Jiraiya looked softly. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's soft emotions, double the critical strike, and get the exclusive action of Jiraiya's appearance. Naruto, what cattle and horses? This thing can also explode, I am really convinced. Throwing it into the space casually, Naruto and Jiraiya walked all the way, and the ninjas beside them showed expressions of worship and shame. Even some of the villagers were evasive, not daring to look at Naruto. Jinchuriki belongs to Jinchuriki, they are naturally afraid because of the uncontrollable power, but if they know that Naruto is the son of the fourth generation, they will definitely not be so indifferent. Even if you are afraid, it won't make such a fuss. All blame third generation and Danzo them. Why do you want to hide this kind of thing? It's bad intentions. Puff. Third generation and Danzo, who were dealing with things, sneezed suddenly, looked at each other, and smiled wryly at each other. Have to. I don't know who is scolding them behind their backs. It feels so miserable. When you are old, the human body collapses when you step on the coffin board. This kind of experience is too unbearable. There are many people who secretly pinch the backbone every day. This is the status quo. The situation is completely reversed, and the fate of life is just like scrambled eggs. They are. Move place. Jiraiya glanced at those people with large and small bags and said indifferently, they have no face to live in Konoha village, and they have no possibility to live in it. Pinch the spine, few people can bear it. Naruto is indifferent. These people are really hateful, and Naruto doesn't think it's too much. On the contrary, they are already very good with those who died. Obviously they also know this, so they are just a little bit reluctant. Even if they have complaints, they will not speak out. They know that the place of this number no longer belongs to them. Arrive. Not long after, not far from the Hokage building, Jiraiya pointed to a building and said, "This is the house that Minato and Kushina bought back then, and they didn't live there for long. Because it was bought and built when Minato became the target of the 4th generation, so I don't know what's going on inside. Without popularity, nothing will get better." Naruto took the key handed over by Jiraiya, opened the door and walked in, but unexpectedly found that it was not very dirty, but an empty shell inside. The house on the 3.5 floors, about 150 square meters, looks very spacious. Nice place. However, it needs to be repaired. I really miss that time. Jiraiya stood aside, recalling that when Minato was still there, Minato was the happiest when he became Hokage, and he would always come here for a short stay whenever he was outside. How should I put it? Kushina is definitely a good wife and mother. Although he has a hot temper and is called a little pepper, he has nothing to say to Minato, Uchiha Obito and himself. Sometimes you might be able to pay homage to Obito. He was a student of your dead father. It's a pity that he died young. By the way, there is also Nohara Lin. Kakashi knows where they are buried. Naruto's eyes turned cold, and then he returned to normal without being seen by the nostalgic Jiraiya. Obito. As for that fool, the water of the entire universe would not be able to wash him. If it wasn't for him, his life would definitely not be what it is now. Although he is not the original Naruto, he also inherited karma. Once that Obito is met by me, I will torture him to death. Well, what are you going to do with the house here? What should I do? Of course we have moved in, but we still need someone to decorate it. This is also a very long process. It just so happens that we have to go out to find someone this time, so I will leave it to the helpless girls to take a look. Why do I always feel like I smell dog food? You are a scumbag. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's envy and jealousy. The critical hit is 10 times, and the soft cover plus 10 is obtained. Naruto's expression suddenly turned strange. This thing appeared again. The last time it was donated by the neighbor next door to my apartment, and it is still in the space now. I didn't expect it. As expected, I was not surprised by the critical strike on Jiraiya. What's your expression? Naruto coughed dryly, leaned over and asked in a low voice, what do you use to avoid that when you do things? Jiraiya was taken aback when he heard the words, and he reacted instantly with a dirty heart, with a smirk on his face. Of course it's a soft cover, they have prepared all these and don't need you to worry about it. Why, you want to come too? Not interested in. Naruto pouted. I'll just ask. Naruto looked at the good thing that Jiraiya had critted out. Well, it does not limit the awareness of the senses at all, which is a good thing. There are more good things like this in the future, the better. Naruto put it away casually, and then started walking up to the 2nd, 3rd and top floors with great interest. There is a balcony on the top floor with plenty of sunlight, which is very suitable for basking in the sun in winter. With this location, this house can be said to be very valuable. Well, it's pretty good. At that time, they were still discussing that you would live on the 2nd floor, and the 3rd and top floors were used to entertain guests. I can still vaguely think of their voices and smiles. I have not seen. Jiraiya was speechless. Indeed, there is no such emotion at all, but when you were young, didn't you envy when you saw those children with parents and laughter on their faces? Don't you want your parents to show up and call you home for dinner? This is the emotion that a person should have most, and it is also a small inheritance of a family. Okay, let's not talk about this. How about putting my energy cannon here? Naruto patted somewhere on the balcony. Jiraiya looked at it. Oh shit, isn't this aimed at the Hokage office building? What do you want to do? You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's frightened emotions. The critical strike is 30 times, and the duration of Sage Mode is +1. Haha, just kidding, let's go. First go and get back what my parents left me. Scared me. Jiraiya touched his chest. He was really taken aback just now. Naruto thought it was understandable for him to do this, so he was really taken aback. The two non-stop came to the storage room again and pushed out some leftovers. It's a pity that Kushina wove this scarf and these toys were bought by Minato and his wife. Naruto was silent. In the end, I took all these things home with me. Even if I came here through time travel, I can't help but feel a little sad in the face of this strong parental love. People, after all, have some emotions, which is understandable. Walk home. With reddish eyes, Naruto took a deep breath and walked home step by step. What should we do? In the room, Baki and the others stood together, and Baki was like an ant on a hot pot, walking up and down, anxious. What can I do? I can't die. Kankuro is very calm. Konoha village is keeping us to negotiate with Tsunade. We are safe, what are you worried about? Hey, what happened this time was really full of twists and turns. Who would have thought that the fourth generation would die in such a muddle-headed way? Three little cheeks twitched. They didn't expect that Orochimaru would take advantage of their stupidity. When can we go back? I don't know, maybe in a few days. Exactly, to complete an agreement. Temari's face was indifferent. Eat. Kankuro. Gaara. Baki was even more surprised. Are you really going? Words and deeds are one of my principles as a ninja, and this meal may make our situation a little better. Baki's heart moved when he heard the words, and he thought of the rumor about Uzumaki Naruto. Three little beauties, it is said that there is another one next to the apartment, but it is not very good looking, dry and flat. Thinking about it this way, Baki looked Temari up and down, and his eyes lit up. What's on your mind? Cough, it's nothing. Facing Temari's puzzled expression, Baki gave a dry cough and pressed some thoughts in his heart, and we will talk about this matter later when we go back. You have successfully caused Temari to use your emotions, get a critical strike 13 times, and get the golden silk organdy shirt. Is this name familiar? At first glance, it is a woman's clothing, and it is also a magic weapon. It has the same weak defense and dust-proof effect as the one obtained before, nothing special. It's Temari who wants to use me. As soon as Naruto thought about it, he understood Temari's thoughts. He was a little dumbfounded for a while, but he didn't expect that this appointment for a meal would become a straw in Temari's hands. Call Hinata and the others to come over tomorrow. 3 pieces of clothes have been collected, and there is also a wish-fulfilling stone. Hiss. Tomorrow must be a happy day. Naruto chuckled. Jiraiya stood aside and watched. Why did this man smile so obscenely? Naruto ignored Jiraiya, went home and started to organize things. These toys are actually useless, but keeping them as souvenirs. The scarf feels soft to the touch, it is woven with fine wool, and it is full of love. Keep it, wear it in winter. After tidying things up, Naruto plans to find someone to decorate his house again, and he should be able to move in when he comes back to find Tsunade this time. Everything, one thing, things seem to be a lot, but they are assigned and completed slowly. He has plenty of time. It's almost night. After tidying up for a long time, Jiraiya had already left, and Baihei Zabujan didn't know what to do. Naruto thought about it and went to fulfill the promise first. Thinking of this, Naruto walked out the door with a smile. Along the way, some people dared to greet him, and some girls even screamed. This is the treatment of the savior. Naruto smiled, but was cold inside. He really doesn't like this kind of treatment. Life is the best way to live in a mediocre way. Well, it's best to have a little stimulation once in a while. Yo, did you eat? No. Temari had a cold face, and now the defeated party couldn't be happy in this situation. Go, you promised me, go on a date. I'm asking you a dick. Temari was ashamed and angry, clenched his hands into fists, really wanted to punch him. In her opinion, it was all Naruto. If it wasn't for the kid who was as big as herself in front of her, how could Konoha's collapse plan fail? Even Orochimaru's conspiracy to collapse Konoha would be a great achievement. Don't be so sad, think about it, at least you are still alive. Ah, Temari snorted coldly. Baki looked at him and said with a smile, go, have fun, well, we won't wait for you, and nothing will happen in Konoha village. Temari looked at Baki in disbelief. What the hell are you talking about? Is this what you, a ninja leading a team, can say? Temari nearly vomited blood. Kankuro also looked sideways, but looking at Naruto, it seems, maybe, not bad. As for Gaara, when she knew that Naruto was also a Jinchuriki, she would just sit aside in a daze, and she just kept silent when she came to her senses occasionally. Look, your companions have agreed. Can't I go? Temari was speechless, always feeling like he was going to be sold into the rhythm. Naruto felt that he was still easy to talk, and didn't bother Temari. Under such circumstances, I invited her to have a meal of ramen, and said with a smile under Temari's disdainful gaze, "This is a major feature of Konoha Village, my favorite ramen shop." "That's enough for you." "Well, you're right, I'm content, the taste is really good. But what I'm curious about is that it's not that far from the arena, so why is it intact? Along the way, many places are dilapidated, and the houses in many places are broken and need to be repaired before people can live in them. But just this ramen shop, there is no damage at all, which is outrageous." Naruto's mouth twitched. "I also think it's outrageous, but it's so intact here, I don't know what's going on." Asked about hand playing, but hand playing said luck with a smile. Luck was good at that time, Naruto avoided here on purpose. Naruto was speechless. He wondered if this was not the reason. He did avoid this place at the time, but it couldn't be such a coincidence that it was so close to the arena. "All right." Naruto touched his nose and exchanged a look with Temari. "There are still coincidences in this world, maybe this is really a coincidence. No wonder people say this guy is Otsutsuki Ichiraku, and there's some truth to that." Otsutsuki Ichiraku. What kind of meme? It's nothing, it's just a group of characters from myths and legends. You mean Otsutsuki Kage, right? You actually know. Why don't you know? Isn't this a myth and legend? The literature records in my Sunagaku library have carefully recorded some details of what happened at that time. There are noses and eyes. I almost believed it. Forehead. Naruto looked at Temari strangely. "Sorry, it is indeed true." "Ha ha ha, Otsutsuki Kage, there are many stories in this myth and legend. I grew up watching it when I was a child. I thought it was really beautiful. Nowadays, people don't like this much, and go to see Make Out Paradise instead. That book is also wonderful." Naruto's heart moved, it was really exciting, and he still had a premium edition in his hand. It can only be said that these businessmen in the ninja world are also very good at this aspect. Temari took a dark bite. "This book is also very popular in their Sunagaku, many people will read it, and read it openly, even Kankuro secretly read it." Some of the text descriptions inside made her blush. But the content in it is not only this, there are also very profound things, many of which she does not understand, but it is undeniable that this is indeed a good book. "So you have seen it?" Naruto Mingwu, with a smirk on his face. "How do you feel?" "Gone." Temari was cold and snorted coldly. "Can this matter be admitted? I can only look around and talk about him," looking down at the bowl of ramen that is about to bottom out and nodding. "Well, it's really good, give me 3 more bowls." "What to look at? I definitely can't eat it by myself, I packed it for Gaara to eat." You have successfully aroused Temari's shame and anger, the critical strike is 10 times, and you have obtained the craft of folding fan. "Yes, I may have a lot of skills in the future, even if I don't have ninjutsu or chakra, I can live well." Naruto nodded. "Just as long as you are happy. Are you guys dating?" Iris is lying on the table. There is no business now. She blinked her eyes and looked at Naruto curiously. "I remember you often brought 3 girls to eat ramen, and now you have another one, you are really amazing." "It's nothing, childhood sweetheart, between us is very pure." Naruto's face revealed a hint of shyness and embarrassment at the right time. "Calamus. Hand type. Temari. We believe in your evil. As far as your affairs are no secrets in Konoha Village, many people are now wondering how you balance the 3 parties, and they also want to try. It's just scum. Sister Chenku, do you want to try it too? While going, you like to hit me." Calamus regarded Naruto as his younger brother, and didn't take it seriously when he heard the words, and nodded Naruto's forehead in a funny way. "You'd better go back and protect yourself, I think you're going to die sooner or later." "Hey, no, cut." Temari pursed his lips in disbelief. They looked at the scene in front of them with a smile on their hands. What a harmonious scene, it's great to be able to watch Naruto and the others chat and joke like this now. Satisfied with wine and food, Naruto sent Temari back to the place where he lived, and then waved, "Goodbye. HMPH, I won't see you again in the future." Temari pushed the door open with a cold snort while carrying the packing box. As soon as he walked in, he met 2 pairs of strange eyes, and Temari felt a sudden in his heart. What kind of eyes are you? How are you getting along with Naruto? Gaara spoke suddenly, and Tamari and the others jumped immediately. Tamari was even more ashamed and indignant when she heard the words. What can we do? How do we get along with each other? It's just a meal. Nothing happened. Here, this is packaged for you. It is the specialty ramen of Konoha village. It tastes good. You can't eat such delicious ramen in our synagogue. The three nodded silently. Kankuro and Baki still looked at Baki with strange eyes. Kankuro pondered, recalling what Baki said just now. It seemed like there was a joke. But how to say this thing? It depends on fate. Sunagaker is not going to do this kind of thing. It still needs the consent of the person concerned. Konoha village is still under construction vigorously. This time, there are indeed a lot of things that have collapsed. Everything from houses to roads needs to be repaired, which requires a lot of money. It also takes a lot of time. Everyone is busy becoming a spinning top, working hard for the construction of Konoha village. Konoha village's biggest architectural talent. That's gotta be Yamato-gon. Early in the morning, Kakashi was looking at the materials and helping the old man of third generation sort out the materials, when he saw Naruto. Shishirin came over to ask the construction businessman of Konoha village. Kakashi was stunned for a moment and directly recommended someone to Naruto. That's right, it's him. This guy is a talent. Do you know wood style? First generation wood style conquers the world, and Yamato wood style engages in construction and greening. He's a talent. Kakashi smiled. It's not derogatory, he has made wood style out of it now, you must go to him. A lot of building things need wood, and Yamato directly makes wood for you, isn't that amazing? Naruto was silent. He will also use wood style, but he doesn't have time now, and he won't do it if he has time. It's just decoration, so he needs to use wood style. Growing potted plants at home. In all aspects, you can rest assured. Learn. Naruto found the house where Yamato lived according to the address given by Kakashi. Looking at the house in front of him, Naruto fell into deep thought. Without him, the scene in front of him really shocked him. This is a house made entirely of wood and looks brand new. You are, Naruto. Yamato was building something outside the house. When he saw the person coming, he was pleasantly surprised and said, "What do you want me to do?" "Oh, I'm here to inquire about the decoration. Renovation, is it Lord 4th generation's house? I built it at the time. Leave the decoration to me. Of course, it will cost money." Money is not a problem. Naruto was stunned. He hadn't thought about this. He hadn't thought that Yamato, a simple man, was actually an architectural talent. Sure enough, people cannot be judged by their appearance. Money is not an issue. Yamato's eyes widened when he heard this. Where did you get the money? If I remember correctly, Naruto gets money from third generation every month, so it is impossible to have money for decoration. Borrow. Naruto's heart moved, and he said casually, "Hinata, I still have Ino every day, I think I can borrow a lot of money." "I'm afraid you want to fart." Single quote. The corner of Yamato's mouth twitched fiercely. They were only young, and even if they had a mine at home, they didn't have that much money. "Oh, there should be every day. Jealousy has torn me apart." You successfully aroused Yamato's envy and jealousy. The critical strike was 34 times, and you got the green talent. Don't worry, if I have money, I won't treat you badly, but the decoration needs to be done better. As long as the money is in place, you can talk about anything. There is no need to pay for decoration labor, but it is obviously impossible for Naruto to waive the cost of materials. Everyone has to eat, and Naruto understands this. After discussing with Yamato, I left. I believe that Yamato can finish it, it's just decoration. When the time comes, I will choose the style myself, and then I will leave the rest to Yamato. And I am going to see Tsunade. I don't know what good things can come out of Tsunade. Uzumaki Naruto, stop for me. You old six, you are too vengeful. Naruto, who was walking home, turned his head in surprise when he heard this, and just met Inuzuka's angry expression. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Inuzuka almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. What are you saying about me, you old six, hiding silver coins? You actually raised a dog just because of my words, and you can forget about raising a dog. Why does your dog often bully my Akamaru? Also, what breed are you? Inuzuka came up to Naruto aggressively, and a series of questions almost surrounded Naruto. Wait, you said Xiaopingen went to bully Akamaru. That's right, Akamaru has sued me. What kind of dog are you? Oh, field dog. Inuzuka tooth. I also picked it up. I just said it casually at the time. How did I know that he was going to bully Akamaru? By the way, Akamaru's mother. I'm so short-tempered. One Buddha ascended to heaven and two Buddhas came out of the body when Inuzuka was so angry. Why, isn't it enough to bully now, and in the end to climb on Chiwon's head to bully, his heart is to be punished. Naruto's thoughts are very bad. You have successfully aroused the anger of Inuzuka, triple the critical strike, and get special dog food +3. After finally calming down Inuzuka, Naruto calmly thought about moving, walked around Konoha village, looked at everything around him, and then went home calmly. As soon as I got home, I saw little Sakura standing at the door, looking a little nervous. Little Sakura, Naruto, you're back. Yeah, what do you want from me? The little Sakura pursed her lips, and finally asked in shame. I just want to ask what my specialty is. Do you know, I don't want to fall too far behind you, but I can only watch as I distance myself from you. Naruto was surprised that little Sakura would come to ask him this question. What gave you the illusion that I really want to be omnipotent? I see that Hinata and the others have become very powerful after your guidance. I see. Naruto realized it, and was a little bit ridiculous for a while. It was cheating. It's completely incomparable. But little Sakura asks. Naruto thought for a while, and said casually, do you know the strange power technique? A skill of Tsunade. Heard about it. Your chakra control ability is good enough. Maybe you can become a medical ninja, and I'm going to find Tsunade. If she comes back, maybe you can try to become her disciple. As for whether you can succeed, that is your own business. Little Sakura's eyes lit up when she heard the words, and she waved her fist. I will definitely work hard. Single quote. I absolutely can't fall behind you too much. Correct. The little Sakura who was about to leave suddenly turned her head and said, Sasuke has been acting strange these 2 days, I have a feeling that he is going to leave me. Naruto twitched. Where did your courage come from? He left you. But when it comes to this, it seems that Sasuke will leave after a while, but the details have changed greatly, and Naruto does not know the exact time. Forget it, these are his own decisions, I have done everything that should be done, and the rest is his own choice. Naruto waved his hand, signaling little Sakura to be at ease. Little Sakura pursed her lips, turned her head and left. She is going to learn about medical ninjutsu in order to learn about it. Mr. Itachi, why did we come to Konoha village? Is it to see your dear brother? Yeah, I think he lives too comfortably, and he needs to be given some deep pressure. Dried persimmon and ghost shark trembled all over. It's Uchiha Sasuke's sorrow to stand on your big brother, you still put pressure on him when everyone is like this. This Mr. Itachi is good at everything, but he likes to bully his dear brother. This mind is sick. Itachi looked at Konoha village not far away, thinking of Naruto's performance, and thinking about Sasuke. He didn't feel angry. They are all other people's children. Sasuke, your dear brother is here, are you ready? The ferret whispered, the voice gradually drifted away, invisible. This spell is really not simple. In a training grove outside Konoha village, Sasuke panted heavily, clutching his neck, feeling the pain all over his body. But Sasuke's heart was full of joy. He felt an incomparable power, and this power gave him the feeling that he was omnipotent, and the power was incredible. Is this the curse seal developed by imitating Jinchuriki's fighting style? Sure enough, it is powerful. Sasuke suddenly thought of Gaara and Uzumaki Naruto of the Konoha collapse plan. They are all so powerful. No, and that taijutsu ninja named Rock Lee is so powerful. He had naively thought that among the same age in the village, Naruto could overwhelm him, but in the end he slapped him hard. Gaara, Hinata, Tenten, and not Neji all put a lot of pressure on him. Turns out there's still so much talent in Konoha village. They usually don't show their mountains and dews, but once they erupt, they are so terrible. In front of them, it seems that the ancient lineage of the Uchiha family has become a waste. How does this make him happy? Hoo. Sasuke breathed out, Orochimaru, I'll come to you right away. I will definitely surpass them and stand in front of Itachi. Sasuke roared wildly inside. This is Konoha village, it looks miserable. Uchiha Itachi and Kisame quietly walked into Konoha village. No one noticed that the ability of illusion was fully displayed here. Yeah, this is Konoha village, it's changed a lot. It will definitely change. This Konoha collapse plan sounds very drastic. But we won't meet that evildoer. Kisame thought of the description in the information and couldn't help but licked his chapped lips. I really want to see if that Uzumaki Naruto is really that powerful. Try and die. Dried persimmon ghost shark's face froze, full of depression. If it really matches the terrifying strength in the description, he really doesn't have the confidence to beat Uzumaki Naruto. You said why there is such a monster in the world, probably the leader can defeat him. Okay. Itachi looked at everything around him and replied casually. He was also called a monster at the beginning, but it was not as exaggerated as Naruto. But everyone is evildoer, just get used to this kind of thing. Dried persimmon ghost shark, forget, there is a monster next to you. A lot of waste is waiting to be done, so when are you going to see your younger brother? Don't worry, eat some meatballs first. Itachi's eyes fixed on a meatball shop. The meatball shop was a bit dilapidated, but it could still be set up for business. In a trance, Itachi seemed to see a figure sitting there, waving at him with a smile. Itachi walked into the meatball shop subconsciously, and silently ordered some meatballs. Dried persimmon and ghost shark had no choice but to keep up. He didn't hate meatballs, but he didn't like them very much either. He didn't understand why Itachi was so dazed when he got here. He insisted on eating meatballs. You successfully aroused the challenge emotion of the dried persimmon ghost shark, the critical strike was tripled, and the water shark bomb technique was obtained. Hey, dried persimmon and ghost shark. Naruto, who was thinking about how to invite the three of Tien and the others to come over as a guest, was taken aback for a moment, and said, yes, remember that Itachi returned at this moment, in order to put pressure on Konoha village. But isn't the third generation dead now? What are you doing here? Naruto changed his mind and became interested. Go and see. Single quote. Naruto, where are you going? Do you need my help? Oh, no, let's fight the landlord tonight. Naruto responded casually, jumped directly off the second floor, landed lightly on the ground, and disappeared from Zabujan's sight within a few steps. What is Naruto doing here? Maybe I thought of some idea again. Naruto is always so weird, it probably has something to do with what happened when I was a child. Yes, maybe I went to see the house. Instead of thinking about Naruto, he waved at Shiro. Go, bye, let's go to training. Quote. Okay, it's a great honor, don't behead Mr. Trademark Ferret is here. Quote. In the meatball shop, Naruto opened the door, sat in front of Itachi, and waved to the boss, bring me some meatballs. Uchiha Itachi. Dried persimmon ghost shark. Hey, why did Naruto appear here? Itachi used illusions on the people around him to make them ignore the existence of the two of them. But Naruto seemed to be able to find them accurately and went directly to the meatball shop. This unscientific. You have successfully aroused the fear of Uchiha Itachi, 100 times the crit, and obtained the gravity wrist. You have successfully aroused the fear of Hoshigaki Kisame, the critical strike is 55 times, and you have obtained the water control talent. Naruto glanced subconsciously. Gravity wrist brace. Wear it, you can feel the gravity all over your body, suppress it in all directions, and it can be adjusted. As for the water control talent, needless to say, it is the same as the sand control talent. This is a kind of innate supernatural power, as if born with power. It's all good stuff. Naruto happily ate a ball, looking at Itachi. Naruto, long time no see, you seem to be doing well. It's okay, that's it, so. God is so. Itachi's eyelids are jumping, the intelligence has all told some things about you, for which Nagato was almost beaten to death, you are telling me so now. What are you doing back this time? The third generation isn't dead yet. You really know the purpose of my return. I underestimated you before, Uzumaki Naruto. Both in each other, at the beginning I felt that your purpose for me was not pure, but after thinking about some information about Uchiha, I realized that you are using me as a tool. You actually know. Sure enough, you can't underestimate anyone. Itachi sighed. But with your current strength, Sasuke is very difficult to achieve that step, and the plan cannot keep up with the changes. So, the main purpose of my visit this time is to deter Dried persimmon and ghost sharks are eating meatballs, which are very fragrant. Obviously, unconsciously, he also fell under the illusion, and he regarded the meatball in front of him as his favorite delicacy and ate it happily there. Third generation has no deterrence. The new Hokage, as far as I know, you are going to find Tsunade. If it is her, I will feel relieved, but Danzo and the others, hee. Itachi sneered. I know very clearly some dirty things in the village. Quote, Brother Shisui, me, and several Uchiha clansmen all wanted to ease the relationship between Konoha village and the Uchiha clan, but what? Brother Shisui was attacked by Danzo, and the whereabouts of the rest are unknown. It's just me, and the gap between the Uchiha clan and Konoha village can no longer be eased, so I have to make a choice. Do you think such a village, such a high-rise is worthy of my protection? Anyway, I don't trust them anymore, and this time I came back to deter and put pressure on Sasuke by the way. You were really a good brother. Naruto was speechless. Until now, he still doesn't understand why Itachi didn't choose the family, but the village. Could it be that he really loves the village deeply? Nonsense. Take it easy, don't use too much force, it won't be good if it gets ruined. Why are the words from you Uzumaki Naruto always so weird? Do you treat me as a child who doesn't understand anything? Anyway, I spent a happy life with Izumi in the illusion, and I have experienced that feeling. Really scum. You successfully aroused Uchiha Itachi's speechless emotions, tripled the critical strike, and gained the power of Amaterasu. Naruto laughed. I'll go first, goodbye. Oh, by the way, today is your treat. Naruto didn't wait for Itachi to speak, and a flying thunder god disappeared into the meatball shop. Itachi's eyes widened. There are such brazen people in this world who come to eat and drink for nothing. You have successfully caused Uchiha Itachi's slightly ups and downs of emotions, the critical hit is 10 times, and the illusion resistance is +1. This Uzumaki Naruto. Uchiha Itachi laughed. Kisame looked up blankly. What are you laughing at? No, Mr. Itachi, you are not authentic, and you used illusion on me again. Recalling himself in the illusion, Kanshi Kisame was speechless. I respect you so much, is there anything else you can't let me know? I am full, it's almost there. I haven't eaten any taste, just the taste of childhood, which is unreal. Pay it. Dried persimmon ghost shark. What cattle and horses, because of what I pay. Hoshigaki Kisame was furious. Is it easy for me to save some money? You are a native of Konoha village, shouldn't you treat me? I forgot my money. I rely on Sasuke, your dear brother came back to see you, is it a surprise or a surprise? Seeing Itachi, Naruto didn't intend to do it himself. After all, it has nothing to do with him, it's Sasuke's business. The grievances between the two brothers were resolved by themselves, and he was not in the mood to get involved. No point. Go to Shikamaru and them. Don't know what they're doing now. Elder Danzo, long time no see. It's you. Danzo, who was thinking about how to become a Hokage, suddenly raised his head. When he saw Itachi, his pupils shrank suddenly, and he said word by word, Uchiha Itachi, you will come back at this time. Single quote. Yes, Elder Danzo, I came back in person, just to let you understand one thing. You threatened me. Danzo frowned, and said coldly, I don't seem to have done anything to Sasuke. I haven't seen him in all these years. I know, but not before doesn't mean there won't be in the future, so. Wang. Uchiha Itachi's eyes rolled, and the illusion came, and it didn't take long for Danzo to gasp, looking at Uchiha Itachi in horror. I knew that this person was powerful, but I didn't expect that Itachi would become even more powerful and terrifying after so many years. Is this really a Uchiha clan? Remember this feeling. Itachi was indifferent, turned around, and his figure gradually disappeared from Danzo's sight. It's such a monster again, why doesn't such a monster appear at my route? Danzo threw the crutch on the ground angrily, his face livid. He knows. Uchiha Itachi specially returned to come to Liyue because of the Konoha collapse plan this time. But unfortunately, he is also the target of Liyue. But he really can't beat Itachi. What kind of monster is this? Not only Danzo. In the following period of time, Kakashi, third generation and others related to Sasuke and even the high-level officials of Konoha village were all repaired by Itachi. This scene was watched by Naruto. In the eyes, Naruto shook his head. The people of Brokon are so terrifying. I was so heartbroken for my brother. Finally, Itachi suddenly appeared in front of Sasuke, who was practicing crazily in the grove. Sasuke was stunned, staring blankly at the Itachi that appeared in front of his eyes. After a long time, he let out a roar and raised his hand. Chakra gathered, zzz like thousands of Chidori chirps. With a movement of the body, he quickly rushed towards the ferret. At the same time, it was accompanied by a roar, Itachi, you are going to die for me. You are still so weak, Sasuke, my stupid brother. Itachi's face was expressionless, his voice was indifferent, and he criticized Sasuke's hard work over the years. Shut up, you have no right to speak of me. Am I wrong? In this Konoha village, how many can you beat? Sasuke paused, his face painful. It seems that he really can't beat a few, the top few people are really too strong, and their abilities are too exaggerated. Roar, Sasuke roared, lost his mind in an instant, and directly opened the curse seal. Hey, the external power is vulnerable to a single blow. Naruto covered his eyes, he couldn't stand it anymore, this Itachi really didn't care about it at all. He directly opened Wushwang, and he was ashamed of Sasuke's words, his face was livid. Even the seal of the curse in front of Itachi was like a pediatrician. It didn't take long before he was abused and lay on the ground unable to move, his eyes staring at the sky blankly. Sasuke is desperate. Is this the power of Uchiha Itachi? So strong. This makes him seem to be facing Naruto, which makes him how to chase and how to avenge. Well, it's a bit too much, let me give you a shot in the arm. Itachi's eyeballs spun, and the mysterious Mangekyo emerged, drawing Sasuke back into that day that is still fresh in his memory. Sasuke's complexion changed and turned pale. That night was his nightmare, he even wanted to forget it for a while, but now it was clearly presented before his eyes. No, it is more thorough. The screams of the tribe, the death of his parents, one after another, flashed before his eyes. Sasuke's pupils contracted, and the Guyu spun around, faintly turning into the appearance of Urgoyu. Naruto left quietly, feeling terrified in his heart. Fortunately, I don't have such a brother, otherwise it would be an extraordinary experience. Miserable. Lying on the rocking chair, Naruto still has lingering fears when recalling the scene just now. The Brokon people are really terrible. Naruto sighed. I'm glad I didn't meet such a person, and I'm glad I didn't cross into Sasuke. Who can stand this? Sasuke's ability to bear it is really a strong heart, which has to be admired. Naruto, what's wrong with you? Xianglin came over with Xiaopingen in his arms, and asked a question weakly with some curiosity. It's nothing, are you used to living in Konoha village? Life is very good, I never dreamed that I would have such a life. There was a bright smile on Xianglin's face. Thank you, Naruto. You successfully aroused the emotion of Xianglin's gratitude, tripled the critical strike, and gained enhanced perception. It's okay, they are all of the same race, as they should be. Naruto waved his hand. Do you have anything you want to do, such as a dream? My previous dream was to get out of the clutches of those demons, but now I want to be a medical ninja and a researcher. I like to stay quietly in a corner and study everything I want to study. This needs a foundation, right? I know, I used to study hard when I had time in the village. Don't look at me like this. In fact, I am also a top student with a lot of theoretical knowledge. Xianglin waved his small fist, his face full of confident brilliance. Naruto's heart moved. Xianglin seems to have been a medical ninja and a research institute, so she has this talent. I can't bury this talent, and I can recommend it to Tsunade in the future. Tisk, why do you feel that Tsunade is a bit miserable? Why do I always think of recommending people to her? Anyway, thank you, Naruto. Xianglin smiled brightly, and it could be seen that she was indeed very happy. Some people are always so easy to satisfy, but the living environment does not allow it. Naruto watched Xianglin's departure, sighed slightly, he seemed to have done a very good thing. It's decided, go find Hinata. Naruto sat up from the rocking chair and went straight to Hyuga's house. Before long, the three of them gathered at Naruto's house every day. The three of them glanced at each other and were speechless. Why couldn't Naruto find someone alone? He insisted on finding them together. I don't know why, it's mysterious and looks bad. Hey, I've come here today because I have something for you. Naruto coughed dryly, with a tendency to draw his sword to ask the sky, and Day One couldn't help it. It seems that I really started to grow up. In 2 years, I will be able to open the gate of heaven with my sword, and then I will let them know what whipping is. Naruto's heart was pounding, but he said with a smile on his face, "Do you want it?" Hinata and the others' eyes lit up. Now they are not polite to Naruto at all. Since he wants to give it, it must be something suitable for them, and it must be useful. Dang 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 dang. With a wave of Naruto's hand, 3 clothes appeared in front of them, and there was a strange stone beside the clothes. What's this? The 3 women were attracted by the clothes, which looked good and beautiful. Could it be sending clothes? Would this be too straightforward? The 3 girls looked shy, but they still picked up the clothes and looked around, which was given to them by Naruto. This guy is really thoughtful. There are 3 of them, he doesn't favor anyone, and he doesn't neglect anyone. What is this stone for? Pointing at the wish-fulfilling stone every day, he asked curiously, made it. It looks so strange. You put a drop of blood on the clothes, and then crush the stone into the clothes to know what it does. So amazing. Still dripping blood. The 3 women looked at each other, but obediently dripped a drop of blood on the clothes. Wang. Next moment, the blood gradually melted into the clothes, and they were shocked to find that they had a slight connection with the clothes in front of them. What is this? The 3 women were shocked in their hearts and looked horrified. You have successfully aroused Tiantian's panic, 5 times the critical strike, and gained the power of ninja tools. You successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's horrified emotions, quadruple the critical strike, and gained the ability to roll eyes. You successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's horrified emotions, the critical strike was 7 times, and he obtained the water of spiritual energy. How do you feel it? As long as your thoughts move, they will be worn on you. Now take off the clothes on your body and put on this clothes. It's here. The 3rd daughter's eyes widened again. This is not good, we are still young. What are you thinking? Go to the room. Naruto turned and walked out of the house, standing outside to blow the wind. Well, I'm only 12 years old now. Don't worry, just calm down. Soon, the 3 girls came out together and walked around in front of Naruto with smiles on their faces. The clothes are great. And this stone, crushed and blended in. Oh. The 3 girls obediently picked up the wish-fulfilling stone and crushed it, blending it into their clothes. Then they were once again shocked to find that they could change the outfits of their clothes, whether it was ninja clothes or casual clothes. It's amazing. The 3 women looked at Naruto with eyes full of admiration. It's amazing that such amazing clothes can be obtained. Is this the little boy they love? Love it, love it. You have successfully aroused Hyuga Hinata's admiration, 10 times the critical strike, and gained favorability plus 10. You have successfully aroused Yamanaka Ino's admiration, the critical strike is 13 times, and the favorability degree is plus 13. You have successfully aroused Tiantian's admiration, the critical strike is 11 times, and the favorability degree plus 1 has been gained. Unable to restrain themselves, the 3 girls stepped forward and gently pecked Naruto's cheek one by one. This is the blessing of Kirin, which is great. Naruto felt so buoyant, his soul was flying. But he didn't forget the business, and looked at the 3 of them with a smile. Come, get a fishing net out, white, black, all kinds of colors to try. Well, miniskirts are fine too. Hinata and the others were shy, but they still changed in turn. All kinds of costumes were changed under Naruto's guidance. I can't take it anymore. Naruto covered his nose. I'm a little angry recently, I want to eat something cool. The 3rd daughter gave Naruto a blank look, and she was so good that she got cheap, so let's make fun of you. If it were us, someone else would have beaten you to death long ago, and you still enjoy it like this now. Come on, this is monster meat, this is the water of spiritual energy, and this is the vegetable of spiritual energy, each of you will have a share. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Naruto began to distribute things. He can't finish these by himself, and of course he has to share them with important people. Shikamaru will treat them when he comes back. Are you really going out of the village to do a mission? Yeah, I still want to see the outside world. Naruto leaned on the railing with both hands, looked at the Konoha village that was waiting to be built, and said lightly, there is more than one Konoha village in this world, there are other places. These all require me to see with my eyes. Go early and return early. Of course, there are still you waiting for me in the village. I will definitely go back early, and this time is not a big deal, so don't worry. Naruto smiled confidently. With my current strength, it seems that there are not many people in the entire ninja world who are my opponents. You can't stop poisoning if you are not careful, so you should be careful and don't be so confident. Naruto seems to be right every day. No matter how powerful I am also a mortal body now, and poisoning these things is really unstoppable. It seems that I should be more careful in the future, otherwise it will be useless to cry at the King of Hades if I am poisoned. And I can only think about how these beautiful girls became the old king next door. Depend on. Naruto shivered at the thought of this scene. This kind of situation must not be allowed to happen to him, never. They had a good meal at Naruto's house, played poker and then went back to their own home under the escort of Naruto. The next morning, Naruto got up early, was silent for a while, put on his clothes, brushed his teeth and washed his face, had some breakfast and went out. He went straight to Ino's flower shop and saw that Ino was busy with the same clothes as before, but Naruto knew it was different. He saw it yesterday, Hinata as the most expected, and the two of them are not bad. Touching his nose, Naruto chuckled. Morning, Ino, bring me a flower. Go see Sasuke again, I'll go too. Ino handed the flowers to Naruto. The same flowers, the same people, the same went to the hospital to see Sasuke. The two looked at each other in silence. This Sasuke is too miserable. How many times is this the first time? This is the third time. The two came to the hospital side by side. This time it was fine. It wasn't the same ward, but it was almost the same because it was next door. Pushing the door open, the two saw Sasuke with a pale face. Seeing Naruto and Ino, Sasuke forced a smile on his face. Naruto, you are here. You have successfully caused Sasuke to feel ashamed. The critical hit rate is tripled, and the magic speed resistance ability is +1. Sasuke, sorry. Sasuke. Ino silently took the flower in Naruto's hand, inserted it in the flower plate beside him, and then sat quietly listening to the conversation between the two. His strength is very strong. I know this. Have you seen and fought? No, but I can imagine it. Naruto shook his head. A mysterious person appeared in Konoha village yesterday and repaired Kakashi and the others. Who do you think it will be? Sasuke's face changed slightly. It's him. Naruto smiled without saying a word. They are all smart people, just click as far as you want. I'm going out to practice. After a long silence, Sasuke suddenly turned hard. I will definitely surpass him, definitely. Come on. Saying anything at this time is useless, and Naruto will not make a long speech, but just say cheers. You have successfully aroused Uchiha Sasuke's gratitude. The critical strike is 16 times, and the illusion ability is +1. When? Wait until I leave the hospital, tomorrow. I'll see you off then. Thank you. There was a smile on Sasuke's face. I will definitely become stronger. You have to work hard, don't let me surpass you. Sasuke is very envious of Naruto's talent. But he knows that this kind of talent cannot be envied, so he can only work hard and surpass everything with hard work. I have been working hard and never slack off. I believe that I will never be worse in the future. Well, I believe so. Naruto thought. In the future, Sasuke's strength is really strong. He has mastered some ninjutsu, and his skills and experience have reached the peak. The two genins are fighting the world, and the end is terrifying. That Zhao Dezhao period was really the ninja world supported by Naruto and Sasuke, and the rest of the Kage-level powerhouses seemed too useless, and I don't know why. Could it be that Naruto and Sasuke are really too strong, no harm without comparison? These are unknown to Naruto. But he knows that in this life, he will be stronger, and Sasuke will go beyond the limit. I hope you can be well, as a friend. As a friend. The two held hands together, with a smile on their faces at the same time. Hey, Naruto, are you ready? When do you decide to go? Walking out of the ninja hospital and saying goodbye to Ino, Naruto happened to meet Jiraiya on the way, and Jiraiya saw Naruto put down the binoculars in his hand and asked. Leave tomorrow morning. Well, it's a few days earlier than I expected. I thought you were reluctant to part with those young people. It's a little bit reluctant. After all, this is the blessing of all people. You have no chance. Depend on. Crit. Jiraiya clutched his chest, and gave Naruto a hard look. This wave of counterattack made him unprepared. You have successfully aroused Jiraiya's internal shame and indignation. The critical strike is 30 times, and the anti-drug ability +1. Naruto's heart moved. This thing is really free. I muttered for a while yesterday. This crit ability has been upgraded and evolved to crit what I want. Really fragrant. HMPH. Why don't you look up to the sky and sigh now? Want to cry but have no tears, what's the use of it? Jiraiya snorted sourly and disappeared in a blink of an eye. He doesn't want to talk to Naruto right now. Third generation. Why did I take Naruto with me? This is not letting Naruto sing in front of me. This Jiraiya, don't people grow up? Naruto pursed his lips, looked down, and could feel the heart that was ready to move. Naruto smiled, you will be envious and jealous. Envy is not you, Tisk. Shaking his head, Naruto went straight home. As for Kakashi, they are probably still hiding and licking their wounds, so they don't want to add salt to the wounds, it's too wicked. I heard that you are leaving the village, do you really need us to accompany you? Yeah, we are hired by you. You make it difficult for us to do this. It feels like eating and drinking for nothing. Nope, aren't you self-reliant, and it's not important to go out this time, it's just me and there is no need to follow. I'll come back when someone finds me, and it will be soon. Naruto's heart moved. There is one thing, my house is being renovated, you and I just go over to see it once in a while. Hey, don't you have your 3 little girlfriends, they are more active than you, and you need me. And, you can just go and have a look sometimes, they have their own business, and they are also very busy. Now Konoha village is waiting to be built, that is, Naruto hired people who are not from the village itself, otherwise you can be so leisurely. But if I didn't cut it, I still found a job, just do it when I have nothing to do, and make some money. It's a ninja mission, and the village's price is high. Zaibujin and Bai actually enjoyed it a little bit, and they were also drunk. See you. Naruto drilled into the room, he had a hypothesis that needed to be verified. When he came to the room, Naruto sat on the bed and collected a share. A ring appeared in his hand. This ring looked very beautiful and delicate, and it was definitely the best choice for his wife when he got married. He stared at the ring. He had several rings like this, all of which were crit hits during the time of Konoha's collapse plan and left them in the space without moving. Now Naruto has found some of the best looking ones. One in hand. I don't know if it can be integrated into the space. Naruto held the other hand in the air, and a spot of light appeared up and down in his hand. This is the Kamui space contributed by Obito. The nature is there, this is a space, the owner can also enter, but not for too long, it is a 250 square meters empty space, nothing. To put it bluntly, Naruto thinks this is a space for storing things and hiding for a while. Cooperating with Kamui space, Obito is really elusive. If the Kamui space can be integrated into the ring, it will become a space ring. Naruto raised his hand and brought the two closer. Wang, the feeling of rejection came to my heart instantly. Cannot be done. Naruto is discouraged, the two are very repulsive, not absolutely impossible, but the material of the ring is not good. After all, this is just an ordinary ring, and the involvement of space is a bit mysterious, so the two are not on the same channel. If you insist on fusion, the ring must be broken. This is the result of poor quality. If you get a magic weapon ring in a critical strike in the future, maybe you can try again. Naruto had no choice but to put the two away. He kept this idea in his heart, and when he was lucky, he had a magic weapon ring and he could put it on the agenda. It should be fine by then. In Naruto's mind, Tien kept taking out detonating symbols and piles of ninja tools from the space ring. Maybe it will be even more exaggerated than Conan. Mouth twitched. This way of fighting is really burning money. The Krypton Gold powerhouse is so terrifying. Uchiha Obito. Naruto sneered. Before you die, you must rub enough wool on your body, until you are bald, as I said. Everyone is busy these days, and Naruto is too embarrassed to take Hinata and the others to play around every day, and their teacher has also received tasks to complete. Naruto expressed his understanding of this, and just stayed at home alone, and occasionally went out for a walk. As for helping, Kakashi didn't take the mission, and he didn't want to go. Now that the money is enough, he doesn't even want to do the mission. This time, if it wasn't for seeing Tsunade, he wouldn't go. Doesn't it smell good at home? It's a beautiful life to brag and joke with Hinata and the others every day, and then do crit attacks. In a blink of an eye, the time came to the next night. On this day, the moonlight was shining, and the breeze was blowing slowly, blowing away the dust and leaves on the ground. Under the moonlight, Sasuke walked quietly on the Isle of Konoha village, walking firmly towards the gate of the village. He's going to find Orochimaru, he's going to become stronger. Naruto stood on the top of the tree, watching this scene quietly. The back is very bleak, but also very firm. Standing next to him is Kakashi. Naruto, won't you stop it? Mr. Kakashi, you didn't stop. I can't stop it, my heart is not here, I can't stop it for a while, I can't stop it for a lifetime, let him go, maybe following Orochimaru is indeed better than me. At least that's the fabled Sannin too. Your thinking is dangerous. Naruto glanced at Kakashi. If it is known that you let Sasuke go, you will be finished. Will you say it? Forget it, even if you say it, I won't admit it. I was recuperating my injuries at home, and I didn't even know about it. Tisk, it's just a shadow clone here. Who would know? Where's the evidence? Naruto was speechless. Teacher, you are still as treacherous as ever. Each other. You are very bold, come directly to the body. Avatar is not sincere, Naruto said lightly. I sent Sasuke with great sincerity, unlike some people. You successfully aroused Hatake Kakashi's speechless emotions, tripled the critical strike, and gained Kamui's ability enhancement. Little Sakura is here. Just at this moment, the sound of trotting footsteps was heard from far away, and following the sound, I saw the little Sakura with red eyes, shining tears in front of Sasuke. Love is miserable Sasuke, this little girl is really infatuated. Are you envious? No, what do you envy, you have might guy is enough. Gone. Kakashi is furious, and Laozi's orientation is normal. Naruto smiled strangely. Then why not find one, you are not ugly. HMPH, don't care, this will only become my constraint, I still like Master Jiraiya's current lifestyle. Understood, I have lived among thousands of flowers. It's good to understand, not everyone is as evil as you, those few. Kakashi hesitated to speak. He was really afraid that Naruto's car would roll over, but the current situation didn't seem to show any signs of a rollover, so it was outrageous. How did Naruto do it? It's an exaggeration. Kakashi was puzzled. This is what other people don't understand. The point is that the adults of these three families didn't say anything, which is even more outrageous, and it's simply far from the original. How do you all manage to turn a blind eye to this, and still smile like a normal person every day? My daughter is about to be abducted, I can't understand it. I don't know if this kind of relationship can get feedback, I think it's sore. Sasuke's mind has always been on revenge, and he will do whatever it takes to get revenge. This time, he was probably stimulated. Kakashi's mouth twitched when he recalled that indifferent man. In front of him, he didn't even have an extra chance to resist, and his terrifying illusion ability made him helpless. Glancing at Naruto beside him, Kakashi admitted that he had indeed been slacking off for several years. CJBG, if it weren't for this, I wouldn't be so vulnerable. Look at Naruto and Uchiha Itachi, these two never let up. Wrong, Naruto didn't work hard, where did he get slack? This guy is even more exaggerated and outrageous. This is their business, we outsiders can't get in the upper echelons. Hiss. Before Kakashi could finish speaking, he took a deep breath. This Sasuke is really going down, I feel numb when I see this striker knife. Single quote. And he even put little Sakura on the chair alone, he is not afraid that little Sakura will catch a cold. He won't run and meet a homeless person or something and give her to. Mr. Kakashi, I found that your inner drama is really rich. Kakashi glanced blankly, and Naruto pointed to the little Sakura. Sasuke knew I would come, and probably knew you would come too, so that's why he was so big, you go. Why did I go? You are an adult, she is a child, and I am the same age, it is not good to hug. Excuse. Kakashi curled his lips, went down to pick up the little Sakura, and then waved to Naruto, let's go, I'll send her back first. Naruto nodded silently, turn around and disappear into the night. I said Naruto, even if you said to go the day after tomorrow, there is no need to be so anxious. When it was daylight, Naruto came directly to Jiraiya's house. Vice Admiral dragged him out of the warm blanket, and Jiraiya went straight to Buddha. Some frantically brushed their teeth and washed their faces, and muttered, "It's only past 5 o'clock, is it necessary? Early, it's cool and there's no one else, so there's no need to see you off." "I don't believe it, you must have other ideas." "Oh, you've seen it all. It's just that something happened yesterday. I think it's better to avoid it." Not surprisingly, little Sakura must have come to him crying. He was most annoyed by this situation. Since he was in the same village and couldn't avoid it well, he might as well go first and leave without saying goodbye, just like Sasuke. By the time he comes back, little Sakura should have calmed down too. How good is this? It's just this time to trouble Mr. Kakashi. He is often fine in the village, and his office efficiency is extremely high. Find him something to do. Puff. Kakashi, who was watching Kissing Paradise at home, sneezed, nose silently, with a smile on his face. "Tomorrow little Sakura should go to Naruto. As for me, what can a wounded ninja do?" "No problem. You successfully aroused Hatake Kakashi's gloating mood, tripled the critical strike, and obtained the water of aura." Naruto, who had already walked out of the village with Jiraiya, looked back at Konoha village subconsciously. "Why, can't bear to part with your little girlfriends? Can't bear to look back, why don't you go back?" "No, I'm just curious what will happen in the morning." "What can happen? Konoha village is very vigilant now, don't think too much." Jiraiya sighed. "Ah, these days I have been caught by the third generation's background, and now I am finally liberated and feel at ease. Let's go, I invite you to the next village for breakfast. I know a store, it's very delicious, I don't know if it's still there." "Okay, of course it's good if someone treats you." Laughing and laughing all the way, the backs of the two, one big and one small, became more and more blurred and drifted away. Konoha village. Early in the morning, little Sakura came to Naruto's apartment and began to knock on the door, pursing her lips, her face full of grievances. "Little Sakura, what are you doing?" "Mr. Zabuchi, I have something to do with Naruto." "Naruto?" Zaibuzan was surprised. He went out very early this morning, probably far away from the village by now. "Why?" Little Sakura was stunned. "So early?" "Yeah, he said he didn't want to see the farewell scene, so he sneaked away alone, and no one said anything, just let me tell you." "Depend on." Little Sakura's face turned black. "In this situation, it is obvious that I am avoiding her." "Is it so obvious what I did?" "Forget it, I'll go find Teacher Kakashi." Little Sakura forced a smile on her face. Sasuke's departure immediately made her confused. She didn't know what to do. The first thing that came to mind was Naruto and Kakashi. Because there are only a few of them who have good friends with Sasuke in this world. No more doubts, what's going on with this little Sakura? But soon he understood that the feeling was that Sasuke had defected and left the village to join Dafa. Naruto, this guy, also calculated the character of little Sakura, and avoided it directly, and ignored it. It's better to be calm. Little Sakura is just too dependent on Naruto and Kakashi. The first thing that comes to mind is the two of them, which is not good. She's still a little girl and needs to grow up. Not everyone is like Naruto and the others, because most of them are just ordinary people. Zabuza glanced at Bai, nodded, "You were right. It's just scum. Uzumaki Naruto, I will take care of you when you come back." Kakashi growled. He was annoyed by little Sakura for a whole day, and he didn't have any time to rest. This Uzumaki Naruto is such a chicken thief, he slipped away by himself. Sharp. You successfully caused Hatake Kakashi to feel a little angry. The critical strike was 7 times, and he got the monster meat. Naruto, who was already far away from the village, showed a smile on the corner of his mouth when he saw this. The outside world is wonderful. Hey, Naruto, there is one thing I wanted to ask you a long time ago. How did you learn your Rasengan? It seems that no one in the village knows Rasengan. On the way to find Tsunade, Jiraiya looked at Naruto curiously. He was really curious how Naruto learned Rasengan. This is true, there is no sign at all. Just learned it, and also developed ninjutsu such as Big Ball Rasengan, which sounds incredible. Naruto has been staying in the village well, and the only time he went out of the village was with Kakashi, but his weird ninjutsu seemed to appear out of nowhere. Jiraiya believes that this is not only his own doubts, but also the doubts of many people in Konoha village. Ever heard of second Hokage Senju Tobirama? Of course I know that, but what does it have to do with him? Naruto smiled confidently and said, I am a ninja like second Hokage. What ninja? Creative ninja. Are you serious? Jiraiya's eyes widened, and she looked Naruto up and down, recalling Naruto's incredible ninjutsu. Let me believe you. You have successfully aroused the emotions that Jiraiya tentatively believed, 10 times the critical strike, and obtained a stack of strengthening symbols. Naruto glanced at it casually, and his eyes suddenly opened. Strengthening symbol. You can strengthen anything infinitely. Note that there is a probability of failure. Please use it with caution. A stack of 100 sheets, children and old people are not deceived. Gone. So awesome. Naruto gasped. This looks like something from a game. But after thinking about it, his crit attack is also the same as the game. No, he is cheating in the game, and it has improved to a higher level and is even more awesome. This thing came just in time. Naruto was excited. It just so happens that I can try to see if my idea can be realized, and it's about time. Naruto clapped his hands with joy on his face. What are you doing? What are you so excited about? Oh, I'm so excited just thinking about meeting one of the legendary Sannin, Master Tsunade. Naruto made up a reason to dismiss Jiraiya, and followed Jiraiya silently, ready to start experimenting again during the break. The sun at noon was not too harsh, so the two sat under a big tree to enjoy the coolness and had lunch. Naruto pulled out the ring and flipped it over in front of Jiraiya. Tisk, you are really good. You even prepared the ring, and you said it wasn't planned for a long time, but you want to start a war with just one ring. Glancing at Jiraiya, Naruto silently took out a few more. Jiraiya's eyes widened. So many. Do you still have outside the village? You really impress me, I admire you. Others say that Jiraiya is a libertine, now I see that this title is clearly made for you. It's outrageous. Jiraiya admires, why is this Naruto so popular at such a young age? I really want it too. I am a Krypton Gold powerhouse, and Naruto is the so-called legendary charismatic powerhouse, right? Cannot compare yo. No, how is that possible? Naruto waved his hands again and again. Don't talk nonsense, I only have a few, 10 rings, they don't mean anything. Hehe, it's only 10. Do you want hundreds more? This is a bit much, I can stand 30. Get out of here. Jiraiya roared, there are only 30 days in a month, are you trying to squeeze yourself dry, one a day, what kind of fairy idea are you? You successfully aroused Jiraiya's frightened and angry emotions, 13 times the critical strike, and gained a little bit of lasting strengthening. Naruto smiled, this is coming again, it's good. Jiraiya ate the lunch in her hands angrily, left Naruto alone and went into the village, saying that she was going to inquire about the news. Naruto took a look at him without breaking it. It is true to inquire about news, but it is also true to go after Mahuo. This person, he can't be as honest as me, he's so big and still so reserved, he's just getting better and better. Ignore Jiraiya, who knows how to measure. Naruto had already taken out the strengthening talisman at this time, took out one and patted it directly on the ring, and immediately the ring began to glow, radiant and beautiful. But this situation only lasted for a moment before the light dissipated. Looking at, Naruto was able to see some information about the ring. A strengthened ring. Incomparably hard, nothing special. Continue. Naruto calmly continued to take out the reinforcement talisman, and slapped it one by one until it shattered with a bang. The corner of Naruto's mouth twitched, his heart was heavy, and only 4 cards were broken. It seems that this thing is still as cheating as playing games. But that's okay, I still have a lot. Naruto continued to take out a ring calmly, and slapped the strengthening time on it. Wang. After taking 6 photos, the ring suddenly gave off a slight light. Naruto looked again, and his heart moved. A strengthened ring. Magic instrument. Staying in the hand can input energy to emit a weak beam of light to kill the enemy. Naruto's eyes lit up. 6 strengthening symbols are enough. But when he thought about the scene where the 4 pieces were broken just now, Naruto felt that it must not be that simple, and he probably was lucky this time. I'll talk about the strengthening later, let's try my idea first. Naruto took out the Kamui space again and began to fuse it with the ring. This time it was very smooth, and the two of them merged together quietly, very harmoniously. Looking again, Ji has also undergone earth-shaking changes. Space ring. The space ring is fused by strange means, which can store a lot of things. It is a must-have at home and an ideal ring for killing people. Of course, it is also a good choice to give to lovers. What is weird, it's obviously a legitimate means. Critical strike is my most powerful method, isn't this a legitimate method? Naruto curled his lips. He was not satisfied with this introduction, but he was very satisfied with this ring. In the future, he can make many space rings wherever he flosses. When the time comes, there will be one at hand. Women only. Ah, why do I feel that I am cultivating immortals in the ninja world? Many things are moving closer to cultivating immortals. That's not right, they're all dead things. You should come out and practice sage art. When the time comes, they will practice ninjutsu and I will cultivate immortals. Immune to death them. Hey. After fantasizing for a moment, Naruto continued to strengthen the ring while Jiraiya hadn't returned yet. Really, it was an illusion that it was easy to strengthen before, and the number of reinforcement symbols used was 7 or 8, and when there were 3 left, it barely strengthened 3 magic weapon rings. Add the previous one for a total of 4. Well, there's not enough left. I'll talk about it later. For now, 4 are enough, and it's useless to have more. Naruto packed his things, threw the broken ring directly into the grass, and then began to lie on the tree trunk waiting for Jiraiya's return. He has been to this village before, and it is nothing special, it is nothing more than an additional place similar to Gulen. Jiraiya is definitely the way to go, you can't go wrong. I don't know how long it has passed. Jiraiya walked over with a blushing face, and laughed when she saw Naruto. What did I say? It is too easy to find Tsunade. Go, I have already found out the news. Yeah, Naruto pointed at Jiraiya. So that's why you drink and then what? Don't mind, these places are the most well-informed places, you don't understand. Oh, you should understand, otherwise you won't be so calm. Let's go to the next destination, I hope there is still time. Naruto followed silently. This time I came out to find Tsunade, and it was right to follow Jiraiya. By the way, let's take a look at the outside world. The last time I just went to the country of Nami, it was a purposeful journey, but this time it's different, just walk around until you find Tsunade. It happens to be able to wander around, why not do it? Stopping and walking along the way, Naruto paid attention to the surrounding scenery, and more than a month passed in the blink of an eye. This month, Naruto felt very fulfilled. He took a boat, cycled, walked, saw a lot of scenery, and received a lot of small notes. So why give it to me? Naruto looked at the sky speechlessly. I am still a child. This Tsunade can really run. Jiraiya on the side was about to throw up. They followed Tsunade's footsteps all the way without stopping, but every time they came to nothing. Really convinced. Tsunade, what is this for? How nice it is for you to stay in one place. Bamboo Street. This is a big village, there are many new things in it, I don't know if I can catch Tsunade this time. It should be possible. Why are you so confident? Intuition. Bullshit intuition. If the intuition was useful we would have found Tsunade long ago, would we still be wandering outside for so long? Don't forget that we have a time limit, and it's been almost a month and a half now. If I can't find it within half a year, I have to go back to being a Hokage. No, we must find Gangman as soon as possible. Jiraiya also started to feel anxious, he didn't want to be Hokage. Naruto was speechless when he saw it. It was Tsunade's misfortune to have a teammate like you. He didn't want to be Hokage, so he went to pull others to be the scapegoat. It's great to have a companion like you. Tsunade is probably moved to tears. Let's go. Enter Pamphlet Street. The old rules, I'll go to inquire, you go to buy food. Okay, it's not wrong to live in seclusion. Naruto waved his hand and walked leisurely on the streets of Bamboo Street. This street is very interesting and has a very modern style. There are all kinds of food on this street. Seeing this scene, Naruto rubbed his stomach. It seems that today he will open up to eat and drink. As for Tsunade, if nothing else, it should be on Pamphlet Street. When Naruto was full, bought food and waited for Jiraiya at the place they agreed upon, it didn't take long to see Jiraiya running over excitedly. Come on, Naruto, I found Tsunade, Good guy, this guy is still short. There is a lot of killing in the gambling house on Book Street. Kill the quartet. Are you sure? Jiraiya was stunned. Cough, I said the wrong thing, and I was killed everywhere. It's so miserable. It's really rich. The two sighed, then stared at each other and smiled wryly. The world of rich people really doesn't understand very well. Stay away from gambling. It's a path of no return. Others are fine, but this Tsunade is a bottomless pit that can't even be filled. She is the one who says that every bet must be lost. You said she burned all these years. How much? In short, there will be a lot of people in places with Tsunade. Naruto frowns as soon as he walks into the gambling house. It is too lively, noisy and yelling. This place is really not a place for people to come. Naruto covered his ears, feeling a little painful. He didn't like this kind of place that was too lively. Used to it. Jiraiya patted Naruto's shoulder and said with a wry smile, I don't think the sound here is any good, but the sound in the hook bar is wonderful. Naruto, you three are scumbags. Pornography, gambling, and drugs, you have inherited every single one that doesn't fall, which also shows that the teaching of third generation is worrying from the side. You said Tsunade followed his grandfather, but what about Jiraiya and Orochimaru? So there is also a general pot in it, which is the old man Sarutobi Hiruzen of the third generation, and there is nothing wrong with it. Look, Tsunade is there. Jiraiya looked around and found the place with the most people, pointing to one of the heroines and said, I haven't seen her for a few years, she is still the same, she hasn't changed at all. 100 healings mark. It's probably a ninjutsu that all female ninjas like. If Tsunade is sold out, it will definitely fetch a good price. Go over and have a look. Wait, by the way, once she becomes crazy, she will ignore others until she has no money in her hands. She is quite persistent about this. Looking at this lively scene, Naruto's heart moved. He has the one who can increase his luck by playing these things, plus his excellent perception ability. Naruto changed his mind and smiled. Come on, pervy sage, we must hurry up and let Master Tsunade lose everything so that we can get out quickly. Quote, you have a way. Look at me. Faced with Jiraiya's surprised expression, Naruto smiled confidently, squeezed across from Tsunade amidst the yelling of others, subconsciously glanced at Tsunade, and was immediately stunned. This is a true female hero. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.